Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Jack Simpson podcast. So on today's episode we've got on the Tone, as we call him, Tony Colgan. But like I say, we call him the Tone. So welcome.
Thank you. It's great. Privilege to be here. And thanks for asking me. Like when I first met you, we met through a mutual friend, and we had a little chinwag, a little catch up, and it was we were around a lot of like-minded people. It was a good day out. We're celebrating the birth of our friend's daughter.
Yeah.
And we had a little chat, and then I told you a little bit about myself, which you instantly were like, I want to hear more. And then you messaged me and says, I'd like you to come onto my podcast. So here we are today, and I'm ready to tell my story.
Good. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, we did speak quite briefly.
Yeah.
Other thing, obviously, I was doing a lot of networking. That I was trying to talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know anyone there. Like the only person I knew there before then was Barbs.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then it came apparent once I started talking to 2 or 3 different people that they were in the same boat as well. Do you know what I mean? There was like quite a few people that didn't really know many people.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone come together like it was just obviously lads being lads and that. Obviously with wild swimming and stuff. It was just. Yeah, it was like perfect little storm, wasn't it?
It was beautiful.
And obviously he's on about doing it for the christening and that as well, so that'd be pretty sick, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
My
story obviously begins at home. I was brought up in Corby Town, a small Celtic steel town. Born and raised here. Brought up with, I wouldn't say a broken home. My household has always been loving. My mum's a great mother. She's a great woman. She's been through a lot in her life, very traumatic. She's lost men that she's been in love with, my sister's dad. She lost a baby. My brother Sean through a cot death. He's Sean Anthony. I'm Anthony Sean. I'm her second born son. So by the time I come along, she'd already been through a hell of a lot in her life. And my mum picked up a drink. She's been drinking pretty much my whole life. She really suffers with her alcoholism. So I was brought up in a household where alcohol was an everyday thing, which in turn, I believe, has a lot on, because they say you pick up most of your habits from your parents. So when I was growing up, it was good. My mum done her best. She always worked. She provided for us. We always had the best stuff at Christmas. I never went without. I never knew who my dad was, though. So when I was growing up, I thought me and my sister Steph's dad were the same man. My mum told me Tony Beach Boy was my dad as well. And then as I got older, Beach Boy moved away, moved back to Scotland, and he died. He died of a brain hemorrhage. And then I grew up thinking my dad was dead. And then I'd be spending times with some of my friends, and I'd be around their houses and stuff, and their dad would be amazing. Or I'd see kids at school getting picked up by their fathers, and I was always envious, jealous, and it was quite hard. I remember crying myself to sleep a lot, saying to myself, I wish I had a dad. And then when I was about 9, my mum got with a new man, Donny, my dad, Donny Maguire. He's Glaswegian. He was moved down from Glasgow when he was about 17. But he moved away. He worked on the oil rigs. He worked in Germany. Worked away a lot. And then when he come back, they obviously rekindled. And then after about 6 months of their rekindling them back together, they've both turned around and said to me one day, "Oh well, Donny's your dad. Do you know what I mean? He's not dead." And looking back now, I don't know how I took that. Do you know what I mean? I remember crying with them, and it was like, wow, I have a dad. But then it was like, oh, I'm going out now. I'm going to go see my mates.
Did they ever say what, or did your mum ever tell you why she told you that Beach Boy was your dad?
I think it was because she never thought she'd see Donny again. She thought it was just like maybe a one-night stand or a fling or whatever it was. And then
I assume that Beach Boy obviously knew you weren't.
Yeah,
just
he knew. He knew.
From the maths of it or whatever.
Yeah, he knew. But yeah, I think it was more of the things she never thought she'd see him again. So I think I think Beach Boy was part of the reason why Donny, my dad, left. I think he's obviously scared him off or whatnot, saying stay away from my missus' family or whatever it was back then. I've never really like got too involved or too deep into the bits and bobs around my mum's life because it's obviously very personal to her. But all I do know is the initial shock. And I remember walking down the street and my sister Vicky said to me, like, what's up with you? And I remember I was going to see my friends, the twins, and my best friends at the time. And I was like, oh, I've just found out Donnie's my dad. And then she was like, what? And I said, yeah, a bit mad, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, but here we go. Do you know what I mean? We just get on with it. And then around that time, I think that's when I started to indulge in addictions. But it was more like when I first started with my addictions, it was more like theft. So I'd steal stuff. And even if it was like little stuff, I'd get up in the middle of the night and then steal stuff out of the fridge when I shouldn't supposed to. Or I'd be in school and I'd steal, even though I was well fed and looked after, I'd go into like the locker room and go into other kids' school bags and I'd steal like lunches and whatever I could get my hands on and things like that. And then there was a lad in my school who was a year above me. I'm not going to mention his name. And he had a big part of my me growing up and the stuff I'd done. And I think his brothers were drug dealers, and he's brought a bit of dope into school one time. And then I think I was in year 5. So being in year 5, I think I'd have been about
10.
About 10.
9. My lad's just turned 9. Yeah, he's going into year 5 next year.
So I was about 9 or 10, and I was smoking dope.
Wow.
Yeah, and by that I've already smoking cigarettes in this time as well.
So how old were you when you started doing cigarettes?
Probably about 6 months before that. So stealing out my mum's ashtray, about 9 years of age.
Out of mum's ashtray, so you were just smoking the butts?
yeah,
smoking the bag ends, yeah.
Yeah. So then I remember one time.
Where was mum during this though? Was mum aware of this behaviour?
No. I was very, very smart with
yeah,
snidey. Like I said, my mum she's got a drinking problem. She's an alcoholic, so she couldn't keep up. I guess.
So when you say your mum was an alcoholic, then what's the sort of a normal day in the life of Tone?
So sometimes we'd have to finish school, and I've got 3 siblings. I've got a little brother, 2 big sisters, and then sometimes we'd finish school, we'd come home from school, my mum wouldn't be there, she'd be in a pub, so we'd have to like split up, find out which pub she was in, say to her, obviously there's no food in the house, or we need electric or whatnot, and my mum would always provide, but she did spend a lot of time in a pub.
Right.
So that's how we were brought up. So me and my brother Connor would literally finish school, go into the KK, the Catholic club, right next to our school. It was literally next door. We were playing pool, like Golden Wonga crisps and Panda Pop sort of thing. And it was like you were brought up in the pub, and it was good for us growing up. And then it was, we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being around adults. I enjoyed being playing pool because you didn't know any different.
Yeah.
But then obviously at the same time I did, because you'd see other fathers and parents and that, but you don't as a kid.
And there must have been obviously at the times at school when the kids are talking about, being at football or stuff like that.
Yeah, so I never really got that.
You wouldn't have had that.
No, I never really got pushed on me, never like any outside, how would you explain it? Extracurricular activities. Yeah. So now there's nothing like that. So it was literally just school. I'd go home, play computer, I'd be out on my bike, and like I'd be out until whenever. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
I'd be out and about.
Yeah.
At a young age,
right.
9, 10, and I'd be anywhere. So the thing is, when I started getting bullied, it was more like getting forced to do stuff by other older kids.
Right.
And one of these were the kids who gave me dope. And the story that goes along with that as well. One time he made me dog school with him. So he says to me, "Oh, come on. If you dog school with me," he's in year 6, I'm in year 5. "If you dog school with me, I'll buy McDonald's. We'll fucking have a good day, blah, blah, blah." So we've left school. We didn't go into school. He's seen me in the morning by the bus stop by the church. We've left, went straight up to McDonald's at the town centre. We're in our school uniforms. Had a McDonald's. Walked up to the Lincoln Estate. And then we're in a man's house, late 20s, early 30s. I don't know his name. So we're in there doing lungs, bongs, smoking dope. And then we left our school bags in there. And then we're going to call him B. And then, so we've left, and then we're like wondering about this state because one of the fellas, I think he had to go to the job centre or he had to go out. So he's like, you just can't stay here. Well, do you know what I mean? I'm going out. Yeah, I'm not here. So he's going to have to go. So he's like, can I leave our school back here for a bit? Because obviously we can't go home till after school hours because our parents would find out. So we were wondering about this state. We found another youth, Tommy. So he's come with us. We ended up going back to the...
How old's Tommy?
He was the same age as me.
Right, okay.
God rest his soul, he's dead now. So we've ended up going back to this house and we couldn't get in. So he's ripped off the door panel. There's a panel over the door. So someone smashed it in previously. So he's jumped in the flat, got our school bags out, handed them to me. And as he's like, I'll be back in a minute. And he's gone back and he's set the place on fire. So he's burnt this geezer's flat down. Do you know what I mean? It was kind enough to let us in and smoked open at us. Do you know what I mean? So he's burnt. And I think that's another thing. It was like when you're a kid, you don't know any better. And it's like, I've just set a fire. I don't know what harm is going to come from that.
I think, yeah, I mean, looking at that, like obviously from an outsider's perspective and that, it's just because of the environment you've been brought up in. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, for me, at that age, if I was, like, 9, 10 years old, and it'd be the same for my lad now, like, because he only knows, like, loving, caring home. Yeah, and he knows that if, like, he was caught, like, if he was bumping off school and shit like that, like, I would come down on him like a ton of bricks. Yeah, yeah. Like, that doesn't even... That's not even in his thought process that he's not going to go to school today. Do you know what I mean? Monday to Friday, I go to school. That's what it is.
Yes.
So for him, like, for that to happen, like, he would be like, what the... Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But for you, because it's just like that is your running, your day-to-day norm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just another day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you just become accustomed to that in your life at that age.
At a young age. And I think, like you're trying to say, so the people my mum would have at home, like friends drinking and the house parties that we'd go to, and you'd have to stay with like older cousins, which would be friends' kids.
Yeah.
And they're all rough. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of the norm. It was the norm for me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I get exactly where you come from because my lad, he's just the same. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know. And I can't wait for him to get older so he can like understand of who his dad actually is and where I come from. So he's burnt the flat down. Yep. He's totally torched the place. We've managed to get home all safe and that, but obviously we're on CCTV changing jackets and stuff like that. And then I don't know if the fella the geezer whose flat it was, says I don't know if he's grassed on us or not. But all I know is we got arrested a few weeks later. The police have come to the house. Your son's getting accused of arson. I had to go to court. So we ended up going to court. But before we went to court,
this is all year 5, yeah.
Yes, mate.
That's crazy.
So before we even went to court, the geezer who set the fire, his parents come round to my parents' house, and we all sat in the living room. And then because he bullied me anyway, I was scared of him. So we turned around and says in front of everyone, "You did it. You did it." Yeah, and he made me stay in front of my parents, his parents, and himself. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I did it." So I mean, not really knowing the consequences of taking the blame. So a few weeks later, we're in Kettering Crown Court. There used to be a Crown Court in Kettering. And then, so we're in court. And then there's a friend of my mum's is there. Frank Gillespie, God bless his soul. He's another big name in Corby. He was like a gangster in Corby. But he's pulled my mum up and says, "What are you doing here, Pauline? Why are you here?" And then she's like, "Oh, it's not for me. It's my son." And then he's like, "What happened?" And then my mum's told him. And he's turned around and says to me, "You better go in that fucking courtroom or go into that room now with that solicitor and you tell them exactly what happened. You tell them it wasn't you."
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, and I knew of his name, I knew who he was, and it kind of gave me a bit of confidence to go, all right, do you know what? I didn't do it. So I went and told the solicitor, it wasn't me, it was him. So when we go into court, it's I blame you, you blame me. There's no proof of who done it. It got thrown out. So luckily that I met him, Frank, on the day of court, because otherwise I would have took all the blame. Yeah. I could have went to juvenile, taken away from my parents, foster care. So I mean, it could have been all over from then. And then it just went over my head, and it was like back into routine. And I was getting back into like trouble with this lad and other lads on the estate.
So you two still stayed hanging around together, yeah?
Well, it was more like he used to force me to hang about with him.
Right. Okay.
So it was like I'd more be kidnapped.
Right. Okay. I shouldn't laugh at that, but yeah,
I was kidnapped. And he'd do like some shit to me, like give me clipper burns, like
Right, okay.
a hot lighter.
Yeah.
I remember one time we were going through the Westie and he was like, and he was on his push bike and made me push him, so his feet didn't touch the ground.
Right.
And I had to run next to me, even though all my friends would be there as well from school, other people that down the park, and then they'd like just embarrassing me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as the years went on a little bit, there'd be like more of them. There'd be older ones as well, and then they'd notice that like I was easily
led. Yeah.
So I'd get kidnapped more often, and it'd be like take me down to Asda, and they'd force me to steal like alcohol, bottles of vodka, clothes. We'd go on Matalan, make me steal clothes so they could sell for drugs.
Unbelievable.
And then some of the people that I was doing this for were doing like heavy drugs, like crack and heroin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, oh yeah, Tony, you can have a bit of hash, do you know what I mean? Or you can have some of our vodka. And they get me intoxicated and send me home.
So how old are you now? Are you into year 6 yet, or are we still year 5?
Yeah, I'm like year 6 now, yeah.
Right.
Year 6, coming on to year 7.
I mean, that's still crazy, but...
It's crazy, isn't it? So like year 7, this is when it got even worse. It got even worse. But the good thing about when I was in year 7, when I was in school, like I met my best mate Vinny, and me and Vinny, he's a black lad, and it was rare to meet someone black in Corby at that time.
It was back then, yeah.
Yeah, there's about a handful of them, and me and him just clicked straight away. We actually got introduced from this other lad, that B, who yeah. We actually got introduced through him. And then when we started year 7, it was like click, bang. And because we all knew like the year 11s, my sister was in year 11 as well. And like, because Vinny was quite well known, we looked after the year 11s would be like, come with us at lunch and that, get stoned, do you know what I mean? And like all that kind of stuff. And it was good. But then.
So how were you as a student in school when you were in school?
Oh, terrible. I'd like make teachers cry. I'd steal out of the purses. I'd steal mobile phones, charity boxes, whatever I get my hands on.
So were you excluded and suspended from school and that?
Yeah, so Vinny got kicked out year 7 or year 8. Yeah, year 7. He got kicked out by the end of year 7. He was gone into a different school. And then year 8 come along, and I got the same. I got caught stealing. I got caught stealing something. And I got permanently excluded.
Right.
But before I was permanently excluded, some of the lads were driving. The ones that kidnapped me, they'd be driving. So it'd be like, not the lad that initially started bullying me, but these were older lads that kind of like, I met through that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So they'd turn up in a car after school, and I can wipe one day on, and they'd be like, where the fuck's Tony? Where's Tony? Do you know what I mean? Because they want me to take me down Asda and make me fucking steal for them. So I'd be constantly climbing fences, running through backyards, fucking anything I could. I'd be hiding in bushes, bro. Like literally thorn bushes. I'd be like hiding from people. It was a lot. It was a lot. And then I got permanently excluded. I remember going to Forest Gate School. Forest Gate School was like halfway home for fucking, do you know what I mean? Halfway school.
Right.
And I'd done really well in there, actually. So the whole year 9 I spent in there. They made me do my SATs in there, and I'm like, I wanted to change my life around. At that age, I was like, I shouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean?
So between year 6 and year 9, then, what's the frequency of like the drug consumption?
Drinking a lot.
Drinking a lot.
A
Drugs?
lot. Yes. Mostly dope, hash, ecstasy. Taking ecstasy I remember taking ecstasy when I was about 12 or 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the situation? How did that come about?
I think the first time was me and my mate Vinny with his sister. God bless, she's dead now as well. God bless Vienna. Rest in peace. We're in a flat up the Exeter. She was taking drugs. We were up there staying for the weekend. It's just ecstasy, and it was amazing. To be fair, I had the best times. We had the best times.
So I hear.
Yeah, listen to drum and bass and tripping out, literally tripping out, bro. But I remember one time as well that lad who I was in court with turned up at the flat that I was in, taking ecstasy. And then he turned around to my mate Vinny, either I throw him out the window or you let me put him to sleep. And then I'm in the other room, and I've come out, boom, and he's put me to sleep. And I'm like, come round, crying my eyes out. What the fuck just happened? Do you know what I mean? Because you ever been put to sleep before?
No.
It's a weird sensation. You don't know what's happened. You don't know where you are. And then it's very delusional.
When you say put to sleep, as in he choked you out?
Like a chokehold.
Knocked you out, right, choked. Yeah, I haven't. Like all the years of MMA, jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, I've always made sure I've tapped. I've gone close.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I wait until the elevated doors are going.
Would you ever let
And then
anyone
I'm
do
like-
it to you?
Nah, I wouldn't. Not by choice. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know the science in it, or whether there's any sort of the lack of oxygen to the brain. If there's any issues there, overall, I'm sure there must be on a at some level.
I've had it done to me a few times.
But yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, there's lads that I've trained with that they won't tap.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They will go out.
Yeah.
It's mental.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I
Ego.
This is a story that's never been on the podcast actually before. When I was in the Falklands, there was this guy, and he was like 4 weight categories like lower than me. But he was like giving it like the big one that he was like he did MMA for years and that like he was like Mr. Tough and that. And he got wind that I'd done MMA, but I've like never shouted about it. Like I'm just like I keep myself to myself. Like I'm like a quiet lad. I don't. People won't agree that I've heard that I'm a quiet lad. I'm not a quiet lad like that, but I'm like when I was younger,
reserved.
I would get in fights and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like I would always be like, I wasn't the one that started it, but I would definitely not try and
Back
diffuse
down.
it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, who you calling a pussy?
Yeah.
But like, obviously I've got older, and I think it is like with age, and although I still see it on the football pitch a lot, but and this lad, and he, we was in the down in the Falkland Islands.
Yeah.
And got pissed up and that, and then one of the lads was just like, "Oh, his fucking matey boy wants to fucking have a little roll and that," and it was all like, no punches in the face, like because we got to go work, like we work together, like with mates and stuff. But like we'll have a little roll and that.
Grappling. Yeah.
So he's doing a bit of grappling and like because he strikes to the body, all the rest of that. And I caught him in a rear naked choke, and he'd always he's like, "I ain't tapping." So I put him in it, and it was the first time I'd ever put someone to sleep.
Yeah.
I would have been, I don't know, I want to say 21, 22.
Yeah.
And I wrapped up this rear naked, got it in, and I was like, he ain't getting, like, I'm way bigger than him anyway. I just overpowered him. Like, it wasn't necessarily like I was better than him, the technique, but I just knew, like, when he went for stuff, I know what you're going for, and I'm way bigger and stronger, so I can just, you're not quick, you don't know enough that your technique's going to outdo my power. Do you know what I mean? There was just his skills weren't as good as my
It's like in today's society when males dress up as women and trying to do a women dressed up as male trying to do a male sport sort of thing. It's like it's just, if you've seen that thing about the 15-year-olds beat like the top
Swiss women's team. Yeah. I mean, I don't really get that argument at all about the women's stuff, but. He went limp on me, but like I felt it. No, he must not have been the first person actually, but I felt him go limp on me anyway. And I rolled him off. And then like everyone's in the corridors and that, and they're like, "Oh God, Simo choked him out." Like, "Oh, that's mad." And like he come round and all the rest, and he sounded like it was cool after that.
How old was he when he come round though?
He was better, but he was like he'd been put out loads.
Oh really?
Like, He's like because he's in his MMA and that. Like he was like one of these guys that was just like, I'm not going to tap. Like I will find the way out, or I'll go out.
He's just
like he would just let himself get like put out. And I've always been the opposite of him. Was like, if I know I can't get out of this, I'm just going to tap. Like it's I'll fight to the end. But as soon as I'm like I can feel it,
pass out. Yeah.
Like as long as I've got enough in the tank to give that, then I'll give it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a pretty funny one because it was just like, and people do get a bit away with that, like the size of people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, but I've been doing jiu-jitsu or like anything for like thing," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you're still, you're like 100." But it's crazy as well because it's like when people talk about that sort of like the whole, like Bradley Martin was talking about it. He wanted to fight Demetrius Johnson. Like Demetrius Johnson was the 125. World champion and UFC champion. But he doesn't walk around at 125. Like he walks around at like 140, 145. So he's actually a 145er. He just cuts to make that weight to then fight, but then he soon goes back up. Do you know what I mean? So all of them like weight categories now, it's like Khabib and stuff. Like he's only the 155er. But he probably walks around like 180. So it's like when you're like, oh yeah, he's the 155 champion and Bradley Martin's like 260 or something like that. He's like massive compared to him. I'm like, yeah, but he's actually a 180. And you're like 260. Yeah, it's 80 pound difference, but he's a fucking god at wrestling and like striking, like everything that you can do, he can do at a very elite level. So that is going to make that difference up.
So size and weight's got everything to do with everything.
It has to a point, but that's what I'm saying. When you get to like the elites, you'll get murdered. Like it's just different levels. So I mean, like they're hitting you with stuff and you ain't even seeing it. So I mean, they're just hitting combos that like they're slipping, they're just creating angles and stuff. And like before you've even seen, they're bap, 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 and they've hit you 3 times already, and you're like dazed and stuff. And then they're jumping on you, double leg you. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, then they're just boom, 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 and they just know what the next move's going to be, and you're clueless.
And before you know it, you're sleeping.
And you're out cold easy. But yeah, anyway, we digress.
That's okay.
That's what I was saying in the car, like when we was on our way over and that, like we will go off on tangents, talk about stuff like that, and then, and then
well, that's what it's all about, and it's a bit back and forth, isn't it?
Come back into it,
yeah.
I just don't want to stand it. I don't want to sit here as a statue the whole time.
No.
But yeah, so he put you out. We went off piece there a bit.
Yeah, and it kind of just spiraled. I was life was just I was constantly like running away, constantly fucking people pulling up and where's Tony, and then it was like a bit of it was scary, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? When I look back on hindsight,
what did it feel like when you came back round then?
Oh wow, yeah. So when I come back round, it was surreal. I didn't know where I was. Remember crying my eyes out. And then, because when you realised what the fuck's just happened, and you see what's happened, I'm on the floor and someone's laughing at me. And it happened a few times. There was a lad. It's got to be. The lad's got about 50 now, 50 something. I see him and he's homeless in Corby. He's another one. Squint, his name is. And he was another one. I remember being in his back garden. We're all drinking and stuff like that. And then I must have been maybe about 14, and he's picked me up. And he got me in the sleeper hold, and I remember kicking him with my the back of my shins, like on his leg, on the back of my leg onto his shins, and he's just dropped me. The fucking fella, like knocked me out. Obviously, put me to sleep. Whacked my head on the floor. And I woke up in the garden, the same thing again. Like, what the fuck just happened? Because it takes you 10, 20 seconds to realise what's just happened, and you don't know where you are and who you are. And then I'm like crying my eyes out, the same thing. But it's like. And a friend of mine's actually beat him up like a few years back for not just for that, but other things as well. But when I do look back though, and I see these people, their karma is served them. Like they're not in touch with their children, or some of them are homeless, or they're in and out of jail, or they fuck their lives up on drugs, and it's like karma does get people. Karma's real. It's very much real, and I've seen it play out many, many times. So having like that kind of childhood, it was, and then being in school, and then I done my SATs in this Forest Gate school, and they managed to put me back into mainstream school. So I went into Lodge Park for my last 2 years of schooling. And when I went in, I've already been well known. Do you know what I mean? Everyone in the year knew me. First day of school, I've been drinking. Had a bottle of cider before school. First day.
Right. Was that close to the norm then? Like you'd wake up, you'd be drinking?
Nah, I think it was more like because it was the first day back at school, and I'm like kind of like said to a couple of girls and one or two lads like, he's up for getting a bottle of cider before school, and we fucking just did it really.
How did you get your hands on the cider?
Just people just go in the shop for you.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, not so nice, but nice.
But yeah, that it was that easy back then. And the thing was, we'd literally sit outside the shops when we were that age, and we'd all be drinking, and no one ever bothered you.
Yeah.
We'd like literally sitting outside the shop. Some whoever just went in the shop for us bought us alcohol at a young age, school uniforms, and you'd sit there and you go into the chippy and say, "Oh, can I have a couple of cups?" And then someone would go into the co-op and say, "Can I have a blackcurrant or whatever we're mixing it with?" And you sit outside the shops and have a drink, and no one would ever bother you. It was strange. Can you imagine that now? Can you imagine like you're driving along and you see some of your son's friends or your daughter's friends outside the shop drinking?
Just drinking, yeah.
It's unheard of these days.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
What a time to grow up.
Yeah, I know. It is crazy. Like when you look back at some of the stuff, like you hit, like I suppose I had not a sheltered childhood, but I was never in that sort of gang. Like once we got to sort of 16, like me and my mates and that would go down the rec. stuff like that, and drink on a Friday and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But it would again. My dad was all like he always would know, like he would might get him, well, it's fine. Him and mum don't speak anyway, so but like he would give us like a couple of cans, and he'd be like, "That's all you're having though." He's like, if he was picking me up, or when you get home, because it was like 11 o'clock in, do you know what I mean? Still when I was like 15, 16. If I even think that you've had more than that, that's it ain't happening again. Do you know what I mean? So it was like I could go out and have a laugh and that, but it was still within like very strict sort of boundaries. Until I started earning my own money and that, really, and then I'd go out in town and stuff like that with my mates. But I always looked a bit older, so I never had trouble getting in town, like from 16. Which I don't know if my dad knows about this, but he'll definitely listen to this episode.
Good.
And we listen to all of them. But I still, like I say, like I was like allowed to do stuff and like with my mates and stuff. And some of them would get like pretty low. Like I saved some guy's life once he was like a year below, and he'd done like half a vodka. In like an hour, he'd necked it, and he just started like he was laying on the floor on his back, just being sick and that. But obviously he couldn't get it out of his mouth. And he couldn't. And like people started freaking out. He started choking and that. I didn't know him. Like he weren't in my friend group. He was just like within the rec area, and then everyone's screaming and shit. So we all went running over, and I was in the army cadets. So I'd done like first aid training and stuff like that. So I was like quickly like grabbed him, like put him in a recovery position, like put my finger, like scooped all the fucking sick out of his mouth and all the rest of that. And like sorted it and that, and then everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you have a?" And then I was just like, "Cool." Like he's sorted. I was like, just make sure he stays in this position. Like if he comes around, wakes up, whatever, give him some water and stuff like that.
Enjoy the rest of my night.
And then we literally just fucked off over the other side of the wreck again. Do you know what I mean? Like we just went and boom, done. Cheers, see you later.
It was
and he'd come up to me at school like the next week or whatever and that, and he was like, "Oh, thanks for like sorting me out now." And I was just like, "Oh, fucking." Yeah, I ain't just gonna let you die. Do you know what I mean? Like you just had a bit too much drink in that. But
there was a lot of lads like that in Lodge Park. So when I went to Lodge Park, there was a lot to, you know, like you're saying, when you get to the age 15, 16, you're kind of allowed out on the weekends. You're allowed to have a couple of drinks and be what teenagers do.
So how old are you?
How old am I now? 36.
So we're the same age.
Yeah. I don't look it.
No, you definitely don't. As old as me, no.
No. How old are you?
It's crazy. 36.
Oh wow, yeah. So like, and it'd be like,
I was adulthood.
I recovered.
You've been healing while I've been fractured.
100%. This is what I'm trying to say. I got out of my system dead young, and I'm glad about it, because I think to myself, it's like I've managed to experience a lot in my lifetime, which now frees me up to be clean, sober, and happy. Do you know what I mean? Recovered.
Yeah.
And it's like, I am recovered. They say it. There's a saying in recovery, like, you will never be recovered if you're an addict. You're always an addict. But you need to come to meetings and stuff like that. And I'll get to that as we go on. But I am recovered. My hair's sticking up.
No.
And then
a fly on the wall behind you.
All right, got you. And then so yeah, I'd have friends everywhere, and I was very, very friendly, and everybody liked me. Do you know what I mean? And not in an egotistical way, but it's because I'm genuine and I care. And I like people, and I like friendships, and I like connections. And then we'd be out, and like you say, you lot would be drinking a few drinks and that, blah blah blah. But by this time, me and Vinny would be turning up fucking on acid and fucking ecstasy, out of our fucking brains, bro. Do you know what I mean? And then Vinny was a hard lad, so he'd be like terrorizing the lads, stealing drink off them, stealing money off them, making them like emptying their pockets, sort of thing. And I was always like the good cop. And I'm like, nah, it's enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be hitting them, or don't take it too far, or that enough's enough. At the end of the day, I'd always have a threshold. I'd be like, there's okay to steal people's money or whatever, as long as I'm getting a little bit out of it. We're going to go buy more drink or what, drugs or whatever we need. But when it gets to like saying hurting people or being a bit violent, I'd always step in and go, do you know what I mean? Enough's enough. Do you know what I mean? It's below the belt. And it's...
So what was your introduction to acid then?
Vinny had a flick knife. I remember the big ass flick knife with a laser, and then the geezer who we sold it to, he didn't have. And I only done it once or twice at that age,
right?
Like, so, and he only had a tab, but I remember we split it, and he sold him to this knife, and he was like, "I've only got this to give you." Do you know what I mean? So we ended up splitting the acid, but by this time we've been taking ecstasy for 3 or 4 years,
right?
And like, But ecstasy was a big one. So we'd get a group of 4 of us. It'd be like me, Peanut, Vinny, James. And we'd sit in one of our bedrooms. The mum would be away for the weekend. One of our mums would be away for the weekend or whatnot, wherever we could. And with the 4 of us would just fucking take loads of ecstasy. And then it's fucking trip out. And you fucking... When I look back, I think it's scary.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild. Because
So what would you do? Like, you thought just drop
take
some ecstasy
yeah.
and just, party in the room?
Party in the room, playing a computer and that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Playing WWE, listening to DMX.
So this is between the ages
We'll all be barking at each other.
what,
Do you know what I mean?
12 and 15?
By this time we're about at least between 12 and 15, but at least 14, 15.
Yeah.
Going on 16.
And then you're hitting, and that's when acid comes in.
Yeah. Oh, and like I said, I've only ever tried it once or twice at that age.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but that's once or twice more than most kids.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when the norm
Yeah.
would be I'm allowed 4 cans at the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I've banged 4 E's. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's
I've-
crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking mental. And then we'd be like, just causing mayhem. We were just like, delinquents. What's the Neds or Chavs?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just bad kids. But we're like, we didn't know no better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we're getting to like, say, 16 years old.
At no point. So now you're at 16. I only say this because my dad used to be head of therapeutic care.
Okay, yeah.
At like a therapeutic school.
Yeah.
Which is like a couple of stages on from where you were.
Yeah.
So we had like the naughtiest of the naughty kids. Like they'd just get up and just scrap for no reason. Like one would be colouring, and they'd and it would be a different colour, whatever. And one of them would say, "Pussy," and then it's just game on. They're just scrapping in the rooms and stuff like that.
What, in this school?
Yeah.
And was he a teacher here?
So he was head of care. He was the
Okay.
head of care.
Yeah.
The head of care unit then. And I don't know where I was going with this story now.
Kids fighting in the classroom.
No, before with. Oh yeah,
And your dad.
did you not have anyone like? I know like stories from what my dad's told me that like he's had a good a heart to heart with some kids and stuff like that. I mean, with them it's a bit different, like I said, because they are like so far got like they've been like abused and stuff like that, and they're just absolutely like off the rails sometimes.
Yeah.
Like some like I went and worked there like as just a helper at some points, and yeah, just some of the stuff I seen I was just like, that's crazy. Like how it'd just be from nothing and boom, and then they're just fighting just.
A lot of them suffer mental health problems. And
Yeah.
stuff like, yeah.
But did you not have anyone that that stepped in at any point to try and like
My uncle Tony,
set you on the right
my mum's
path?
brother Tony.
And you were just like, nah.
My uncle Tony. Yeah, he said actually when he moved away to America, so he lived in London.
Get this a bit closer.
Yeah, he lived in London. With his wife. His wife's a surgeon. She's a plastic surgeon. But they lived on Stuffill Avenue for years. And then I'd stay with him all the time as a kid growing up. And I remember one time he's come to my house. My mum was drunk and he's took me. And he's like, I want you to stay with me sort of thing. But it never fell through. And I remember being about 16, I'm outside the shop steaming drunk, and he's pulled me up. He's on his way to the pub, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? He says, you're my namesake. He's Tony Colgan as well. And then he's like, what? You're my namesake. He says, what the fuck are you playing at? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you're not my fucking dad. And I'm like, you fuck off, yeah. And then we broke into the Caledonian Club. This is like a deserted pub at the time. So we broke into the Caledonian, and all my mates are there drinking, and I think we were just drinking at the time, smoking cigarettes and that. So I climbed through the window of this broken ass pub and that, and like fucking, and he's gone the other way. And years later, my auntie Jackie told me he turned up at hers crying. He was like, I can't believe Tony spoke to me like that. I'm only there to help him and blah blah blah. And I've done the same thing. I've walked into the Caledonian Club. There's a few of my mates and that, and I remember seeing my mate Tank, and I remember crying and be like, I can't believe I said that to my Uncle Tony. I can't believe it. Do you know what I mean? Because I always looked up to him. So by this time, I think I've already rebelled against any sort of authority figure. I never liked authority figures anyway. I never liked teachers. I never been like told what to do. Fuck the system sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's never done me any favours ever.
With that as well, like with like you've never had anyone like you've not liked people telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Do you not think that would be inherently because you've had no one telling you what to do from a young age?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, well, what do you know?
Yeah, you don't know any better.
Yeah. So it's like because you've had no one authoritative over you. through like them younger years, you're like, well,
Like
I
a
didn't,
fa- yeah, like
I
a
didn't
father
have you when
figure.
I really needed
Yeah.
people. So why the hell would I need you now?
Yeah, definitely. It's got a lot to do because obviously being a parent myself, I see it.
Yeah,
So it's like even when my mum and dad split up, and then I'd go stay at my dad's on every other weekend or whatnot. But it'd be like, it was blessed to be fair. We spent time together. I remember we watched The Gladiator for the first time ever. I remember that was a great memory of mine. We sat there and he's made me food and got me sweets, and we've cuddled up on the couch and we watched The Gladiator. And then in the morning, like make eggy bread and that, and then I'd be on my way. But it was like it was never really it was like just go and spend time with your dad. Do you know what I mean? By this time he's not a very what's the word, parental that kind of heart. Do you know what I mean? He's never been
parental figure, like
yeah, or like I remember he explained it to me one time, and I'm trying to figure the words out. But yeah, he's not really in touch with that kind of side of himself. He's a free spirit.
his sensitive side.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, like that father figure sort of thing. And it's like even though he grew up with a good dad and that, but him personally, I think he's like he was just there. And then even like I remember going around sometimes he would get money off him and he'd be drunk on the couch and I'd fucking go in the back door and I'd just rob him. I'd just take money out of his jeans and stuff like that, and then I'd be on my way getting drink with my mates. And obviously like I would have loved all that. I would have loved all that growing up. I would have loved to have a proper loving home, should I say, even though I had.
Yeah.
But like not a broken home, should I say. I don't want to like say things that are gonna like slag my mum off or whatever, because she's always done her best, you know what I mean? I love her to bits.
Yeah.
But I think this is my life's plan. Like me personally, like I through psychedelic experiences and stuff like that in my lifetime, I know that we are all the same. We're all the same. We all come from the same source of soul, and we all come and we choose our parents, we choose our difficulties, we choose our names and how we look, and we choose who we're going to be and our trials and tribulations. And I've had to go through all that to be the person I am today. So me having that upbringing and those experiences at a young age have molded me to be the man I am today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so there's nothing I'd change. And if I could look back now, I would not change a fucking thing.
Well, no, it's made you the man you are today.
Yeah, and it was meant to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is my path and this is my story, and it's like, fucking, let's just ride it.
Yeah. You got to work with what you got.
Yeah, so as we're getting to becoming a young man now, 16, 17, and I'm like...
And you lived a lot of life.
A lot of life already.
Yeah.
And by this time it was girls. Females. We all, as males, we love females, and I still do. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, even though everything I've been through, it's like, but yeah, and it was like parties. So we're house parties, and it was like people getting stabbed, and that by then it was like a lot of people getting hurt. Do you know what I mean? Drugs, drinking, and I think it was the same sort of shit for years after that. Do you know what I mean? For a few years, and then it'd be like storm days. We're going out in Corby at 17, 18. We're out in the clubs. We're out drinking. Do you know what I mean? Fighting. I think it's just the norm now. Everyone else is catching up with me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, but by this time, I remember being like 18 and saying to my mum, "What the fuck is wrong with me?" Do you know, like, excuse me. Do you know, like everyone else could like have a drink or a beverage or a night out, and then they just go along with their life, and it'd be like Monday come around and everyone's just like normal, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like I didn't know when to stop. I'd always end up with a sore face or waking up in the woods or something, or in a police cell, or fucking just crazy situations.
Yeah.
Always end up in the worst possible outcome, and it'd always be me. And I'm thinking, and I'd be like breaking down. So I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And by this time, I'm like selling ecstasy, so I'm like getting fucking 100 pills for 100 quid. I'm like throwing them about, partying all the time. And I remember actually that I was left school. I was doing college. I was doing decorating in college. So my dad's brother, he's got his own decorating business, and my thought process was, if I can become a painter decorator, I should be set for life. Do you know what I mean? And like get a job. Yep. But even being at college and having that vision and saying, do you know what, like this is how I view myself in the next few years, or this is where I'd like to see myself become. Because once I left school, even as a kid, I remember growing up, my kids asked me this the other week actually, and they said to me, Daddy, what did you want to be when you were growing up? Like as a kid, what did you want it to be? I said, a dad. I said, I never wanted to be a fireman or a footballer or anything like that. I said, I wanted to be a fucking dad. And then I tell them my dreams actually come true. And I said, and I always wanted to be a tradesman. I didn't know what trade I'd be in, but I always knew that I wanted to be a tradesman, like a builder. I never got the 3 kids and the dog and the white picket fence and the rest of it that comes with it that I thought, do you know what I mean, that family home and that, but I'm a good tradesman. I've got a good job and I've got 2 beautiful loving kids. So my dreams have come true in that sense. So as things are like deteriorating, I'm starting to do like heroin and stuff like that. So
how does that come about then? So how so you're
again the lad who set that fire,
right?
He by this time was like a junkie.
Okay.
And he kind of forced me.
How does a junkie force you?
He'd be smoking heroin on a tin foil, and then I'd be with him, and he'd be like, "Fucking have some," like more peer pressure, but it'd be like, "Fucking have some."
Yeah.
And then me being scared of the outcome if I didn't. So I'd be like, "Okay, I try it," but I'd never had a habit. So even though he was like flat out, and then like, but I had friends all over the town, so it'd be like. He'd like say kidnap me, whatever, fucking steal something, go and sell it, buy some heroin, go sit in some garages somewhere, have some, and then the next day my mum would say he's been up here looking for you, or whatever. I could hear, or someone in the street would tell me, or he's been out looking for you. But by this time I'm up and out, and I'm on like the other side of town, hanging out with other friends, just to get away from him and stuff like that. And I do that a lot. I just place myself in crowds of people that cared about me, or friends and groups of friends that I was safe with.
Yeah.
And then every now and then he'd like kind of catch up with me, and then it got to a point though that.
So what was that like?
Oh, so yeah, it was horrible. It was I remember projectile vomiting, and then I was with him. We're in the woods, and all my mates are in the woods. They're all smoking dope or whatever. They're all sitting there, and I'm projectile vomiting. And he's just laughing, and then all my mates are like, "Is he all right? Is he all right?" All my mates I grew up with and that, and they all knew because my eyes are pinned, and I'm like projectile vomiting, like in front of them all, and then they still wouldn't let me go. He'd be like, "Oh, you're coming with me," and then it'd like I'd be out dossing about with him and going here, there, and everywhere, and then like just getting bullied and told what to do by him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, well, as I was in college, and I was doing all this kind of stuff out of college, and I'm getting into trouble, and it just didn't seem to get any better. And even though I thought going to college and being a decorator did kind of settle me, so I thought I was getting arrested all the time. So I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a job in a pub. So when I got a job in the open half, it was my mum's friend, and her son is my friend, and then she said to me, "All right, I'll give you a job, glass collecting." So I'd glass collect Friday and Saturday nights. So it keep me out of trouble. I'd still sell a few pills here and there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of saved my life a little bit, because it was like I was constantly around adults that cared about me. I was in a pub scene, and it was like there was no junkies, there's no people there to kidnap me, and I'm starting to get grown at this time. I'm bucking. My mum's bought me a weight bench. I'm fucking repping in my room. I'm fucking getting some weight on me. Get some muscle behind me, and I'm starting to stick up for myself a little bit, in the sense of like I know I can fucking fight back.
Yeah.
So the bullying and the kidnapping, it kind of like started to fade away a little bit. And then I met a lad, a scouter, John Kearns, God bless him. He's he was like a father figure to me when I first met him. So we had a lock-in. Do you know when you used to get the pubs, you'd have a lock-in?
Yeah.
And then we've had a lock-in one night, and then he's like, "Tony, do you know what?" He said, "I take my hat off to you, lad." He says, "All your mates are on that side of the bar. They're all fucked up. You're collecting their glasses." And he says, "You just get on with it." He says, "Why'd you do it?" I says, "Because I've been through so much already. I want something for myself. I don't know what, but I like, do you know what I mean? That vision, fatherhood, and that kind of that loving home." So, and he was like, "Do you know what? I'll give you a job. I've just moved down from Liverpool." He said, "I've been here 4 years. I've just started my own business." He says, "I want you to be my apprenticeship, my first apprentice." So I'm like, fucking yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Do you know what I mean? And then just exchange numbers. And I'm belling them up every week. When's it starting? John, when's it starting? When are you going to meet my mum? Do you know what I mean? Like, can we get this sorted? Like, the papers, I want it fucking signed and delivered to you. I need this. So to me, it was like it was meant to be. Do you know what I mean? But it's like the universe only rewards you when you put yourself in the right situations.
Yep.
Once you like turn your back on something or declare to the universe change, do you know what I mean? And change in perspective, change in action, and change in want and need, it's like the universe will grant you what you need. I'm a true believer in that. So obviously I remember my first job, I was in Nottingham. We were in Nottingham City Centre. It was me, him, and Damo. And then it was like 17 years old in the city, and it was on this big building site. And I'm like, fucking, I've made it. This is sick. And then it's like, they're student night, they're out on the piss. And they're like, come out, Tony. 2 bars we went to. He's not getting in. He's too young. I looked a baby at this age. I'm 17. He's not getting in. So like, buy me a drink. And he said 4 cans. Go back to the hotel room. We'll be back. And it was like that for about a year. But I loved it. It was so much fun. Do you know what I mean? I was very much looked after, and he helped me pay for my driving lessons as well. So he was paying for my driving lessons. I fucked that up. So my cousin's mum went away for the weekend. She's like, "See you later, boys." Blah blah blah. We're like, "Yeah, bottle of vodka, a few eckies." We're sitting playing cards, and I'm like, "Your mum's left the car keys in it." I'm like, "I've had a few lessons. Can we take the car out?" So I fucking took his mum's car out, literally reversed out of the driveway, panicked, kept it in reverse, but do you know what I mean? And then kept my foot on the accelerator, like right back round, up the curb, into the neighbour's hedge. So I've literally come out of his garden, up the thing, onto the main road, down the road, still reversing, up the curb, into the neighbour's hedge, into the garden. And I've like just got out and I'm like, fuck, and ran home. So I ran back to my mum's house. The police have obviously turned up. He's turned around and said, "Yeah, it was my cousin. He lives down the road." So my mum's a half cut at the time, and I'm steaming. And the police turned up at the door, and I said, "Don't fucking let them in. They need a warrant. Don't let them in." But she let them in anyway because she thought I got in the loft. But I was too drunk, I couldn't. So I just stood behind the door. So they've nicked me, got me done for drink driving. So I nearly lost my apprenticeship. Nearly. Do you know what I mean? But he's like, "Boys will be boys." Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really need you to be driving at the minute. Do you know what I mean? So it was it was a lesson learned. But sometimes I always think these things happen. I think because of my alcoholism at that age, because I was drinking quite a lot most nights and smoking dope nearly every day. Well, every day. I spent morning, day, and night.
Right.
So I truly believe that happened to stop me from getting my license too early, because I believe something bad would have happened down the line because I hadn't recovered at this time. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So there again, the universe sending me signs or warnings, or signs and warnings. There's a thing it's on Pulp Fiction. I have to get the saying up, but I'm a true believer in this. It is divine intervention.
Yeah.
So a divine intervention is when your higher self or the universe intervenes in your life and puts you on a different path or changes the course of your life for the better. Do you know what I mean? They intervene when you can't. Obviously, it's so caught up in addictions and stuff like that. So I carried along with him. I was 4.5 years I was with him. So I had a 3-year apprenticeship. He's 4.5 years. So I've got my papers. I'm qualified. I've done the work. And then 4.5 years, he was like, "Tony, you can't work for me anymore. I don't want you working for me anymore." He ended up going bust anyway about a year later. So it's probably another sign. But by this time, I thought, I'm not working anymore. I've just worked my ass off for 4.5 years. Do you know what I mean? I've got my papers, got my apprenticeship under my belt. I'm doing all right. So this time I thought, fuck it, I'm not thinking about this. But then I started smoking heroin again with Vinny. But it was only like dabbling. I never really had a habit. But then it really got bad because like it was catching up with me. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
More than often than it should be.
So what is a heroin? What's the trip like on heroin?
Is it gouging? So if you're like taking Valium, you've done Valium before. So when you mega stone, you're falling asleep. Times that by a fucking million. And it's like you could be.
How do you feel? What is the body experience or the brain
it's
experience?
like dead. Just like you just feel like dead weight. Like so you could just be slumped over, but happy as fuck. You're in a euphoric state of mind. So in this euphoric state of mind, you're just slumped, just in a different euphoric feeling. It feels like someone's got a big fucking electric blanket with a warm blanket and just wrapped you up in it, and then your eyes are heavy and everything's heavy, and it's like.
But you're still aware of your surroundings.
You can still hear things and see shit and that. Yeah,
because it's like I've always said, like it must be a hell of a drug because it's ruined so many people's lives.
Yeah,
like it's like once you're on it, it's like that's all you need.
Yeah.
So it must be what? Like I've obviously never tried it. It's not on my radar.
Yeah, of course. It's more of a physical high as well, though, and it's like in that sense, that's just why they keep needing it, because it is a physical addiction. It's not just a mental addiction.
Yeah.
Like whereas like cannabis, cocaine, or whatever is all mental, in your mind sort of thing. And I remember me and Vinny ended up. Just another time I feel like some of us intervene, like a divine intervention. So he's like, come on, well, you got a $5, I've got a $5, we'll get a bag. And I'm like, it's only a $10, do you know what I mean, to put you on the fucking moon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll ask my sister. My sister's like, I got £3 for you. And I'm like, oh, sound, Jenny. Like, so we couldn't get a bag. We ended up getting cider, drinking bottles of cider. And we're on like a 2-day. We're on a 2-day bender at this point. I remember fucking coming on to one of my mate's little sisters. Yeah, she's like 16 because he's like 20 something. So she's about my age. She's about a year younger than me. And he's fucking punched me down some stairs. I've got a black eye. And then Vin's like, oh fuck it, we'll go here. So we've left there, went down to Madison, Storm, and Corby. Down there drinking. Met a couple of lads. Went back to their house party in the flat. Woke up in the morning. By this time, I've got someone else's clothes on. Someone's put egg on me. I've got 2 black eyes. Don't know where my trainers are. And Vinny's like, there's a fucking PlayStation, all that there. He's grabbed a pillowcase, fucking robbed the flat. Not even knowing like whose flat it was. Don't even know how we got there. Do you know what I mean? I'm like out of my mind. And then we've ended up taking it to his brother's, and they're trying to sell it for gear. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, can I have some? Can I have some? Can I have some? And because by this time they've kind of already like got a habit, and I don't. They're like, fuck off, Tony. We've only got a little bit. Go wait in another room. And I'm like, all right, no worries. A bit jealous, and do you know what I mean? I wish I was getting high. I end up getting a taxi to my baby mum's house. So Zoe's mum and dad live around the corner from my mum, and they always have. But we were going out, and she was like, so at this time, I'm 21. She's 17.
Right.
So I've turned up at house. A mum's hid a little brother away because I looked that bad. He was crying, scared. What the fuck's happened to Tony? Put me in a shower, put me to bed. And I woke up in the morning, and this is where it all changed. I had like this was the most like divine intervention I've ever experienced. So I woke up in the morning, and it felt like someone picked me up, dragged me down to Cannes. And Cannes is a place down the old village where they help with drug and alcohol, people with troubles with addiction. Yeah. So I've come down there, and obviously because I've already been through the system with like the youth offending team, and they've like been through a can with the youth offending team, so they've already got me on their system, and they're saying, oh well, you can talk to a counsellor, we can put you through it, and we'll talk about your units of drinking and your drug use. And I'm like, fuck off. I'm like, I need actual help. I need somebody to fucking help me. I'm like, I remember like just being so raw passionate about it. And I felt, because normally like when I do all these episodes and benders and fucking ruining my life and over again, it's like, oh, I'll just go home, get stoned, lie in my bed. That's my comfort zone. I'll hide away. Yeah. And then once I'm back, and I'll do it all again. So
vicious circle.
Very, very vicious. But this time, out of all the fucking times, it was like, it was as if to say, Tony, you're not supposed to be going down this path. You're destined for something greater. So I met Paddy Ridge. Thank you, Paddy. He's always been there. He took me to a meeting, a Narcotics Anonymous meeting in Market Harbour. So he's took me over to this meeting. He's like, well, actually, first he says, I want you to come down to the Bridge Project in Corby. We're a great place in Bridge Project because they help with anyone that's homeless, anyone struggling with mental health, drug addictions, anything like that. And it's just like-minded people all together, rooting for each other. And he says, come down for a week or two and then we'll see if you're committed. I'll take you to a meeting. And I'm like down there every day, showing up first thing in the morning, do you know what I mean? And then helping out, doing dishes, trying to do some service, do you know what I mean? Community orders, or not community orders, sorry, to some community work, trying to give something back. And I think it was only about a week. He was like, all right, I'll take you to this meeting. So I've turned up in this Narcotics Anonymous meeting in Market Harbour. And I'm 21. Everyone in there's 40 plus.
Yeah. And
I'm fucking breaking down crying like, I feel so much at home. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And they're all bucking. There's a few of them other crying and like saying, "Oh, Tony, I wish we got it at your age. It's amazing that you're here." And I just felt so blessed. I just felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, and I stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs, stopped everything from that day. For like I stopped alcohol for 9 years. So this is why I think I look so young, because while everyone else in their 20s is getting absolutely fucking hammered, at 21 I was out doing half marathons, doing community work, and I didn't touch another drink till I was 30. So
what happened? Why did you, after 9 years, why at 30 then did you go back to alcohol?
So after about 4.5 years I started smoking dope again. I started gambling. This is when my son was born, actually. I was 26. About 26, Charlie was born. Me and his mum started to grow apart. It got difficult. I was working away Monday to Friday. So I was working away all the time. So I was only there weekends. So I was smoking dope, and I think the pressure of being a new father is kind of, so I'm like, I need something. So I started smoking dope, started taking Valium. Started dry sniffing a couple of years later than that. Do you know what I mean? And I was justifying it, saying, I don't drink alcohol, so I can have a line now and then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't, but They
I
understand. So you're making like sort of compromises with yourself. You're saying, because I don't do this, I can do this. You're still negotiating with yourself. Like, it's all right because. Because I'm minus this, I can plus this.
Yeah, because I can handle it. I can get up to go to work. I'm not ruining my life and everyone else's life around me. I'm just doing it like
doing me
now and then. Yeah. And it's not a problem. It wasn't a problem. But in the greater scheme of things, I look back and it was a problem because I wasn't present. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, do everything I need as a father, bath him, clean him, take him out for a walk, take him swimming, whatever it might be. But in the background, I'm like, I can't wait to have a joint. I can't wait to get back and just fucking have a spliff.
Yeah.
Then gambling as well, losing all the money we had. Do you know what I mean? We'd wake up and then I'd be in the kitchen crying. And be like, what the fuck have you done? And I'm like, I've fucking had like 900 quid for a new pram or whatever it might be. And then I'm like, I've fucking done it. I've gambled it. So, but in those 4.5 years in recovery though, I've done a tandem skydive. I went to Egypt, went to a few other countries. I've done a half marathon, done a couple of triathlons. I changed my whole life around. Do you know what I mean? I was completely teetotal, and I was meditating, going to meditation classes, acupuncture classes.
So how did that all come about then? How did the acupuncture and meditation come around?
Just the people that I was in recovery with. So they'd be like, "Oh, would you like to come to a meditation class?" And it's beautiful as well because we'd go to this place in the village. And then we'd all sit around. A woman would come along. She'd play like some frequencies, some nice like meditation, healing music. And then she'd come along and she'd put acupuncture in your ear, the pins.
Oh, okay.
And then just in the back of your ears, all your pressure points. And you just sit there zen. And we'd sit there for about half an hour, and it was quality. Some of those times there and some of those meetings, some of the times in those recovery meetings and some of those meditation classes are the most content I've ever been in my life. And I remember as well because I passed my driving test and then my dog Milo was ill at the time and I've picked my mum and the dog up and my mum was crying. She's like, I'm fucking so proud of you, Tony. Like, I'm so proud how like you've changed your life around and how you've turned out. And I remember saying to her, this is the first time in my life I feel content. the first time in my life. That's the time I'm like fucking 26, 25, 26. And I was like, I'm so, yeah. And it didn't last long. That contentness didn't last long. It's like, do you know what I mean? I allowed the addictions to come back in and spiral out. So, 2020, I'm 30. COVID hits. Me and my kid's mum, I don't know if I get her in trouble, but sometimes she'd take ecstasy with me now and then.
All right, okay.
Not often, but now and then we had child free, and it's just been me and her, and then, do you know what I mean? We'd end up having a night, and something happened. She was hiding something from me on her phone, Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat. It's fucking twice I've been cheated on through Snapchat. Do you know what I mean? It's a sneaky app.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking 9 years we've been together. Do you know what I mean? On and off. I've known her for a long time. And then I remember breaking down. Like, I had to go upstairs. I'm in the room. I'm like fucking coming down off these E's, and I'm like just hysterically crying. Like, all trust is broken.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to her, please let me see your phone. I said, where's my phone? And I've died. Do you know what I mean? Like, please let me see your phone. And there's no way in hell she was going to let me see what she's been texting someone else. So I left her, but I started drinking again. And that's when I let alcohol back into my life, which has always been my go-to, or the worst part of my addictions. Because anything else I could feel like I could handle.
Right.
And I remember I was in my mate Boyle's flat, and I've turned up with 4 cans, and he's like, "You're not fucking drinking in here," because this is the first time I've drank in 9 years, and I'm like, I'm having a fucking drink. I'm having a drink. I've just bought a nice Alti as well, a nice little A4 S-Line estate. It cost me like $6.5 grand. Just paid for it cash like 4 months ago. I'm like, so I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean? I'm just in recovery.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm fucking having a drink, so I fucking started sparking up cans, and I'm getting aggressive with him. He's like, get the fuck out. Threw me out. Jumped in the car. I thought, I'm going to go score some crack. So I went back to my baby mum's at the time, where she was staying, and then she took the car key off me. I'm fighting with her. Just got the car key off her, and then I'm driving to the crack den. She's in the car with my kids, trying to get me to slow down, to get out the car and not be driving, drink under the influence. So I've come around the bend at the pub where the Kingfisher pub is, and I've drove up the end of the road, and then there's a brick wall, and I've, like, instead of, as I'm trying to cut the corner, I've went straight into the brick wall. Cars covered in bricks. Police have turned up. Fucking, I'm fighting with them in front of the kids. Normally I just run off. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I've done it a couple of times. I've fucking been in trouble while I was driving. I've had drugs or whatever in the car. So I fucking drove off, and I've just run for it and then report the car stolen. But I was too intoxicated, do you know what I mean, with the drink. And obviously the first time I had a drink in 9 years, it's hit me hard.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting arrested, losing my license, lost my family, do you know what I mean? My family home, do you know what I mean? I'm not there every day for my kids anymore. Yeah. It fucking broke me. Do you know what I mean? I've never felt so empty in my life. Because it felt like I built everything, and then it just went to shit. And I don't know if the fact is that me picking up a drug, weed, Valium, whatever it may have been, when I was 26, 27, 28, and Charlie was growing up, and then because that's led her to fall out of love with me, and then led her to look elsewhere. I know it's no excuse. I'm not trying to give an excuses for her, but I can see where my behaviour and the patterns I was bringing in the house and not being present has affected our relationship.
Yeah.
So I can understand where things have fizzled out, and I can understand where women are women at the end of the day, and they chase excitement, and it's like when things get rough and boring, they're going to look elsewhere, and that's their nature. Majority of their 90% of women out there, that's their nature.
Yeah.
Whereas the whole time I just wanted someone to see me. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, I just wanted someone to see me for who I am and just love me and unconditionally and know that I'm struggling with these addictions and this mental disorder, if you want to call it that, of loneliness, Do you know what I mean? At a deep rooted level, though. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I feel like no one's ever seen me.
Yeah, I mean, the loneliness side of it as well. With because your addiction is your addiction,
Yeah.
and you're in your own head so much as well. Like it will have compounded that loneliness.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Just like and made it so much worse. I mean, I get it from people like because I live here on my own. Like obviously I've got my kids and stuff like that, but like I'm here, like my family and that worry about because they're all like wived up or husband up, like whatever it is, that side of which side of the family and stuff like that. Like everyone's got someone, so everyone's always like around Christmases and stuff like that. If it's not my year for the kids and stuff, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be out on Christmas Day on your own?" And I'm like, "It's just a Sunday." Like if it's not Christmas Day, I ain't gotta go.
But you say that,
like, but it is for me because I do see my kids all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and I do live a very fulfilled life. Like, I do whatever I want to do when I want to do it.
Yeah.
But I also, if you grabbed either of my kids, like I see them all the time.
Yeah.
Like they came back off.
Do you not ever feel though, like even when it does get to Christmas Day and say if you are on your own, do you not ever like does it ever come across into your mind and go like, I wish I had somebody, or if you
Not really, no. Like because I'll go and see them in the mornings, Christmas morning. Like I'll see them, and then I get to do sort of whatever I want in the day.
Yeah.
And then I get them at night once their mums are like both the mums are cool. Like I'm cool with both of them. And everything's like hunky dory that I couldn't ask for any more. Like for mums and that because they know that I'll drop everything if they ever need me for anything. Now, like if I got a phone call, well, I can't get a phone call. It's on airplane mode. But if I did get a phone call now to be like, "Bing," then this interview's over. Do you know what I mean? I need to go and sort my kids out.
Yeah.
So they know they've got that. So it's like everything's all smooth sailing now. Like there has been bumps, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's like because I'll see them in the morning and like we've got the setup. So like I get them like whatever they're up to Christmas Day with the mums. If it finishes at 5 o'clock at night, finish 7, 8, 9, like whenever it is that they're done, their mum's done with them, their family meals, whatever that is they're doing.
Yeah.
That's when they'll come to me, or I'll pick them up, or whatever it is. And then vice versa the next year. Like if we're going to my dad's or whatever, and we're getting back at 7, that's what time the mums are getting them. They're not, I need her at 5 or I need him at 4. And I'm like, well, I'm doing stuff with them till this time. That's when you're getting back, and that's how we've always done it.
Yeah, it's good.
So because I have like because I do have such a.
I really need to go to the toilet.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll come back.
Yeah.
We are back, everybody.
Yeah, I needed that toilet.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Thank you.
Quite all right.
Yeah. So I had to think about as well, like, going back a little bit to when I was about 27, 28, and still in recovery, because I ended up I done a 12-step program in Narcotics Anonymous, and I could finish that, and then when I relapsed. When my son was born, and I was dry sniffing, I was excusing myself and justifying it by saying I don't drink alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of hit me, so I went to Cocaine Anonymous. So I done a 12-step program in Cocaine Anonymous, and while I was there, I had just thoughts of like, do you know what I haven't experienced? Like I started to hear stuff about DMT, magic mushrooms, and acid and stuff like that, and I'm like, I haven't fully went down that road yet. I haven't fully experienced what it's, do you know what I mean, what it has to offer. So I kind of like, do you know what I mean, I've done my 12-step program in Cocaine Anonymous, so I've kind of felt recovered a little bit. And then I went exploring. I was trying acid a lot. A lot, to be fair.
Where are you exploring this?
At home.
Right.
Okay. Everyone's in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time everyone was asleep. I'd wait till about 10 o'clock at night before I dropped it. Then, so obviously 12 o'clock at night is kicking in. Everyone's out cold. I remember there was a helicopter above the house, and then someone was obviously in the estate getting chased or raided or whatever. And I ran out in the back garden and I thought it was a spaceship. And then, and I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying it. I'm like, what the fuck? This is mad. It's right above my house. And then I've realised I've left the back door open. So in my head, I've like jumped scenarios and thought whoever they're chasing's ran into my house and they're hiding somewhere. So I'm back in the house looking under all the beds and stuff and that. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, oh, just looking for my tray. And it was like, but, yeah, it was a funny experience. I had a lot of fun with it, to be fair. But then I remember one time I had a free weekend, and no one was home. She was away with her parents and the kids, and I'd done DMT. So I was on acid at the time, and I fucking hit 3 hits of the DMT pipe.
Who are you with when you do it?
On my own.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, on my own. I've done a lot. I've done everything on my own. Like
Right.
at this point, because of like, I was so far away from like the people I grew up with. They were all in and out of jail, drugs. And I'm starting a family. I'm at work constantly, and then the weekends are for the family. So if I had any time for myself, it was between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's wild.
That was the only time I'd get kind of to myself. But then I remember the weekend I had free, and I've tried DMT for the first time. And then the experience around that. So I was like zapped, I broke through, and I'm like, I'm in another dimension. And then it's like these 4 things. They're like 4 balls, like orbs of light. I'd like to say they were 4 orbs of light, and they're like shape shifting, and then they're talking to me as if they knew me, and then telepathically as well, talking to me telepathically, and they're saying, Tony, everything you've ever wished for, you've got. Stop chasing sex, drugs, and money. So, and then they zap me, and I'm back to a time when I'm 6 years old, and I'm crying myself to sleep, and I'm reliving this, like actually looking over myself in my mum's house. Every layout was exactly the same in my bed, and I'm watching myself crying myself to sleep as a little boy, and experiencing myself and feeling the emotion at the same time. And then he zapped me to another time, and I'm with my mate Vinny, and we're 18, and he's just about to have his first son, and I'm drinking, and I'm like, I can't wait to be a dad, Vin. I'm fucking so happy for you. I'm crying, hugging, and I'm like, fucking so happy for you. And then took me back into the hospital. Charlie's been born, and then it's like reliving it again, and then back to this dimension, and then these 4 orbs of light. They showed me everything, showed me all these things, and then they've said to me, Tony, you've got everything you've ever wanted. Stop chasing sex, drugs, and money. So, and it took me about another 10 years. Well, I'm 36 now, so it's took me since maybe 2 years ago to actually put that into my life. In the sense of like, I don't abstain from women. I'm quite reserved. Like, I want to meet someone who's like for real. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be out shagging about. I don't want to be a party boy or fucking what do you call them?
Fuck boy.
Yeah. Those days are done, man. And then it gets to money, gambling a lot, constantly chasing the work as well. Normally I'd be like, I'd be earning like $250 a day here, and then I'm like, I'll just go where the wages are. So if I had to take a pay cut as well to work to where I work now, the company I work with, but I'm treated like family and looked after.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that goes a long way.
Yes, massively.
Big time. Especially like with all the big conglomerations, companies and stuff like that now. Everyone's just such a number.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? All the time. And it's just like it annoys me stuff, because it's like when we have like days off work for us, like I don't get paid.
Yeah,
so like if I ring in sick, I know I'm not getting that money that day.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not a decision that I take lightly.
Yeah.
And then we're pulled in for it and that, and I'm just like, it's a drop in the ocean for you. Like one delivery not going out, or whatever like that.
Yeah,
and you can get it covered by agencies and stuff like that. Like it can be done, or like someone can come in on a Saturday and do it. Yeah, I know you got to pay them a little bit more, whatever. Or I'll do that as my 5th shift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it still goes down as a sick day.
Yeah.
And then they're on your case about it and that. And I'm like, I'll work my socks off for this place.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always like, when I come back, I'll drop a trailer here. I'll do this.
But they replace you in a second.
I do nothing wrong when I'm at work. You'll never have any complaints from any other staff about me. Like, I'm polite, courteous. I'll always help the old ladies at the back door and stuff like that. It's an old lady at the back door. I'll wheel them in for you. You stay in there. I've got it. Do you know what I mean? If you're 60 years old and whatever. And I get on and I crack on with everyone.
But then you have a 6th day, and it's like you have to sit down in a formal interview.
Yeah, and it's like you're a naughty boy at school and that. And I'm like, behave.
I'm sorry, I was ill.
I'm 36 years old, I've got 2 kids. Like, this is, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And I think that's got a lot to do with life as well. It's trying to break up the matrix in the sense of like,
I love that we're getting into it now.
Yeah, so it's like trying to break up the matrix, and it was like, so like when I say, when I was in recovery, saying you'll always be an addict in it. So when I've went down this exploring of psychedelics, like I am recovered. I don't drink alcohol. I can pick up weed and drop weed whenever I feel like it. Do you know what I mean? So I know I've got my DVLA medical coming up. So as soon as I know I've got that, I'm like, bang, I can stop. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because I can pick things up and put them down. It's like they're there as tools, or tools and like tools. Let's call them tools, because if I feel like, I'd like to smoke weed, because that's the only thing I do now, or mushrooms.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. So, or mushrooms. I do like to trip out, but I've only had mushrooms once this year. Do you know what I mean? We're in August now. So
allegedly.
Yeah. No, what do you mean by that?
Allegedly. You've allegedly done mushrooms, because obviously they're illegal in the UK, aren't they?
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All of this is allegedly.
Yeah, this is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. So I've experienced a lot with it, and then so that helped me on that path of healing.
Yeah,
that self-healing, that deep-rooted issue that was always inside of me, of the broken child or fatherless figure, and all these kind of things, and it's made me fall in love with who I am, and be like, I can look in the mirror today and say, I fucking love you, Tony. Yeah, I'm proud of who you've become.
That's beautiful.
Do you know, yeah, massively, and I do it all the time. And I will give myself a hug. Like if I'm,
as long as you're standing there with a harder when you're saying that,
yeah,
I'm beautiful.
Yeah, in a full length mirror. But it is
walking
one
away looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, blowing kisses. Yeah, slap my own ass in that. But it is one of them, and I will give myself a hug. Do you know, when I do stuff, and especially as a parent or something, and I see something that's like I've achieved. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I've fucking done that. I made that happen. And I'll be like, do you know what? Fucking, like, you've done well.
Good on you.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you should be proud of yourself. And there's a difference between being pride and being proud of yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people run on pride, and they're like too proud to admit this, or too proud to accept things, or do you know what I mean? Or egotistical pride. Whereas I'm like an open book, and I'm just like proud of who I've become, and I'm like proud of the trials and tribulations I've had to come up against and got through. Yeah, 100%. Massively. So
what that DMT then that you hit, like how are you getting your hands on all this stuff?
Oh, right. A lad through work. The first time I ever tried it, it was a lad through work. We were working in Preston, and we were working for a company. There was South African, white South African family,
right?
Doing what I do in thermal insulation engineering, but they'd done like an ejection foaming, so it was like a different spec of what we do. So it was new to me. It was a lot of metal work. We'd go to like factories where they produce like dog food or something like that. So it's like where they have big steam rooms, plant rooms and stuff like that, and they all need new pipe work and new systems put in place. So we'd go in there, and we'd have phenolic boards, blocks, and we'd block it all out, seal all them, and all like fabrication of metal. So all the pipe work, if you ever see it like in schools, offices, and anything like that, you might see runs of pipes, and they all like got metal on them as well to cover the insulation, to protect the insulation. Yeah. And then we'd like drill holes into it. It's all sealed, and then we'd get from the van this chemical, and it'd pump all phenolic liquid into these things, and it'd harden, and then that'd be the insulation. But it was something new. It's a new spec I've done. It's a new company, and then it was like, but then in the sense, it was just like being a number, because we working in Preston, and something like you just said, it'd be like, I need to get home on Saturday because I've got my kids this weekend, or whatever, and then they'd be like, I don't think so. You're on the books with us. You stay until the job's done.
Yeah.
Stay until the job's done.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
snatch.
Yeah. And it's and it was one of them, and I thought, fuck this. I said, I can earn this same money and more being self-employed. Do you know what I mean? But there was a lad up there that God bless him, he's a good lad, very, very, very good lad I met. He was brought up kind of like me. He's like 10 years younger than me, maybe. He was a young lad anyway, but we were brought up in the same sort of circumstances. He was brought up in Liverpool, and he's rough. Do you know what I mean? The same sort of background. And he introduced me to it. So we went on a lunch break. He was like, because he's in Liverpool, it's Preston's around the corner. He's like, I'm going to bring my dab rig in tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to get him in trouble.
I'll bleep his name.
Yeah, sound. And then we went to the park. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful summer's day. We set up a dab rig under a tree on the grass, took our socks and that off. It was fucking amazing. And then I've took a couple of hits of the dab rig and I've laid back and I'm in the waiting room. And the waiting room's like a big living organism. It's like a circus. It's got full of colours, all different colours. There's like these little machine elves working on it. They're all like, and they like turn the clogs and they put you through. Because if you do enough DMT, you break through the waiting room. But there's like different portals of this waiting room. There's like 8 or 9 different portals, and I think they take you to different dimensions. And
so
then,
is this the same every trip? You always go to that waiting room?
Yes. So if you don't do enough to break through, because you always go to a different dimension, always go somewhere else.
Right.
Not always. Sometimes you will go visit the same place. You need to be told twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they, so the waiting rooms, people, hundreds of thousands of people all around the world, all explain the same thing when it comes to the waiting room.
Right.
So I'm saying, so this is how you know it's not in your mind. You don't build this shit up in your mind. If there's hundreds of thousands of people recording this all around the world, explaining to you that the waiting room is this multicolored fucking living organism and it guides you to where you need to go. So yeah, and I didn't fully break through, and I remember something was trying to drag me up this pipe like it was in like Mario World sort of thing. It was like bloop 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 bloop, and it was like kind of, but I was getting so distracted by something that was over there. You know what I mean? It was like this fucking machine elf or something was working on something. It was like doing something, but I was just kept getting drawn to it, so I couldn't fully let myself release to go. And then I remember saying to Luke, "Oh, do you mind if I open my eyes?" And he's like, "Yeah, open your eyes, man. If you didn't break through, you ain't done enough." So I sat up, and as I've sat up, the grass is vibrating. It's like vibrating, yeah. And I've looked at the tree, and I could see the veins of the tree. So it was like I could see the water going up this tree, like veins, and then pumping out into the branches, to the leaves. And it was all very much alive. There was a man on the bench on the other side of the park. He looked like a rock. He looked dead to the world, like non-existent. I don't know if he was soulless or I think it was low vibrational. Do you know what I mean? So because your third eye's fully activated at this time, you see things through energies.
Yeah.
And then the leaves at the end of the tree were all giggling at me. They were like baby faces. They're all like giggling at me, like laughing. And I'm like, this is amazing. And everything around me is just vibrant and moving and growing. And you could feel the heart, like Mother Gaia, like fucking. And it was fucking and the best experience I've ever had. And I thought, this is shit. This shit's for me. I'm not doing heroin no more. I'm not fucking all that kind of stuff. And it was like, this is for me. So along this path of life, we'll call it, yeah. I and me and my kid's mum split up. When we have split up, I've ended up smoking crack for about a year. So even though I've had these experiences with psychedelics and they've kind of told me where my life and how it's supposed to be and like where I'm not supposed to be.
Yeah.
The heartbreak of not seeing my kids every day and waking up in that household and making them breakfast and taking them to the park whenever I feel like it, it shatters me. So I fell into active addiction again. And then I was smoking crack for like a year. And at this point I wasn't working, not doing anything.
Where are you getting the money from then?
We were selling it as well. Me and my friend was selling it as well, and I was driving as well. So we were out selling crack and heroin. So every time we'd make sales, we could have enough to feed our habit. But my sister said it as well. Like, so I'd stay with my sister at this point as well. She had a fold-out bed on her living room, and then she'd be like, "How come you're fine on a Friday, and then no, you're like a junkie on a Friday, like you're out fucking scoring and selling." And then she says, "But then you go to work on Monday," because I'd still go. After a while, I was going back to work, and that. Do you know what I mean? The first 6 months, I was just flat out selling, and but then I was staying with my sister, and she was trying to help me get back on my feet. And I was like, because I'm not. I was chasing the high, yeah, but I wouldn't, because I got morals. I wasn't out street robbing or stealing off at friends' family or anything. I'd lie to a lot of people and say, "Oh, my car's broke down and needs £21.65 in my bank for the fucking AA or something like that." Yeah, and friends from school would be fucking wiring me the money, and a few of them I've paid back since I've seen in public, and I'm like, "I owe you, bro." Do you know what I mean? And like since I've recovered, but it was like a a bit of a bad year, and then So at this point, let's say COVID's hit. Me and her split up. I ended up drinking, losing my license. So maybe 32 at the time. So since that first picking up a drink,
Yeah.
after 9 years sober, I'm 2 years later, I'm still drinking, smoking crack, trying to come off it. I finally come off it myself.
What was the turning point then? What made you, like, what was the day?
To come off it.
Yeah. What happened for you to be like, I don't want to do this anymore?
I can't remember the exact pinpoint of the date, but I remember going back to work. I was working down in London, Liverpool Street. A few jobs down there, Soho, and I was going to meetings as well. We're going to recovery meetings, Cocaine Anonymous in Soho, and a few others in London. And I was down there on my own for 4 months. Wasn't allowed to see my kids, so I was just down there concentrating on myself. Started writing my book. I managed to write like fucking 3,500 words. Lost that in the iCloud. I ended up drinking over Christmas, and the guy I was working with, he was like, he said, he's going to Thailand for Christmas, and he's like, I got a feeling, Tony, I'm never going to see you again. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I just got a feeling you're going to go home for Christmas, and all this hard work you've done, you're going to fuck it up. And I did fuck it up, but I wasn't smoking crack or anything. I started drinking again. I ended up fucking getting balmy, and then lost my phone, lost the number I had, lost access to my email address, so it all got lost in the iCloud. And I was on my, do you know what I mean? I was down there writing a book, and I was fucking running across London Bridge, jogging every night. Do you know what I mean? I was getting right back into my fitness, my cross country, and all that kind of stuff. And then, something clicked though, and I was, like you say, like, I don't know, it was mostly the presence of people around me, like friends, family. Do you know what I mean? My brother and that, they're all like, Tony, fucking what you doing? And then like help me get back into work. People giving me money to help me get back into work, because I'm being self-employed and stuff like that. And then I think the love around me is what helped me get clean. Do you know what I mean? Because I've done it so many times previous, it just felt like, I know this is not serving me anything anymore. It's not serving me a purpose, so I'm fucking quitting.
I'm assuming at that point though, you must have had a lot of doubters within the family when you're getting clean again and that, and they're like, here we go again. We're going to get clean for a bit, and then at some point, Tony's going to go off the rails. Or not? Or has it always been?
I think they've seen me go through so much and overcome it so much on different stages of life. They've had so much faith in me, and like, you've done it before, you can do it again.
Yeah.
You're better than this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know it means a lot to you.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like fucking those who have been there and have actually cared for me. Because even when I was going through those troubled times, they'd be like, friends of mine would be knocking on doors and saying, fucking sell him gear again. We're going to be down here again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, and then my family, like, I'll put you up and take me in and make sure I'm okay. And then, but yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. But this is all because of like me breaking up from my family. So I mean, my kids and my ex were engaged and stuff like that. And then it all gets a bit mixed match. So there's a point. So what year are we in now? Say 2022. I've seen a girl, and I was at hers all the time. I see my kids every other week. Do you know what I mean? Supervised with her parents at house.
Right.
So I go to her parents' house for a few hours on a Saturday, 3 hours on a Sunday, and get to spend time with my kids. And then while I work my shit out, do you know what I mean? Because they say, we need you to just keep showing up, Tony, and showing up sober. Do you know what I mean? So I was doing that, but then I was fucking about with this girl. And me and her doing cocaine, Valium, drinking vodka, partying. Do you know what I mean? And like having a good time. When, do you know what I mean? Because I've got no responsibilities at the time, so I was okay to in my free time to do it. Well, that's me justifying it, am I? Again, and then something bad happened. So me and her had a fallout. She's turned around on the Sunday and she says, "Oh, someone else has texted me a fella, a friend. He wants to party. He wants to get on it. Do you mind if I go out with him?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not coming with you." Or like, "You fucking mad? I've just spent hundreds of pounds over the weekend on fucking getting us fucked up, and you think it's okay just to run off with someone else?" So I was like, all right then, do what you fucking want. I'm smashing a bottle of vodka in the garden. And I'm like, fuck you. So then I'm like, I've went to McDonald's at this point, and then, should I just read it like I was saying to you before? So
Yeah.
or
Would- do you
should I
wanna
say
tell
it in
the
my own?
story?
Yeah, I'll tell the story first.
Tell the story
and then
of what happened,
I'll wait
and
until
then
the
we'll go.
end for
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I've went into McDonald's. Me and her have had a massive fallout. It's during COVID still at this time, all lockdown in that 2022. So you're not allowed to eat food at McDonald's. And I'm pissed, yeah. And I'm like, I was only going there. I thought I'm going to get fucking me and my mum something to McDonald's. This is me saying this, but I was either going to go to my baby mum's or my mum's. So it's the two places I was going to go. But I remember being at McDonald's anyway, so I've ordered food. I'm sitting on the bench at the window, and then the woman's come along, the manager's saying, excuse me, so you can't eat your food in here. It's COVID restrictions. And I'm like, there's no such thing as COVID. Go fuck yourself. And I'm like, at this time, I'm like, throw my empty orange bottle on the orange juice bottle on the floor, screwing up the rubbish, fucking do something useful and pick that up. And I was because I was so intoxicated that I was being malicious,
Just being an ass.
being an ass, drunk and disorderly, not taking not being considerate of anything except myself and my feelings. So I'm like being more abusive. One of the male workers have come out, and I've turned around and say, mate, I've got a fucking 12-inch blade on me. You can fuck off, yeah. Don't come fucking near me. And I'm like being very aggressive and rude and malicious and just disorderly altogether, drunk and disorderly. And then by this time, they phoned the police. But there's a woman who works in there. I remember I used to take my son football, swimming lessons. And then she was always dead nice. She knew him by first name basis. She was always, hello, you're right, dead kind and that. I said, out of everything, give me my pancakes, I'll go. And as I'm leaving, I've said to her, like, and in front of everyone, the staff members, I said, she's the only fucking nice one in here. And I've kind of punched her in the chest. And then the police have turned up. And what they arrested me was for drunken, disorderly and threatening behaviour. So at this point, there was no, like, sexual assault on the cards.
It's part of you. You know, you said then that like you're either going to your mum's or your baby mum's.
Yeah.
But in your head, do you think at any time that you were doing that, like when you were, because they must have told you like we've called the police.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I don't
cool,
give a fuck.
don't care.
Yeah, COVID's
so
not real.
in your head, as soon as they've said, "Oh, we've called the police," have you not resigned yourself to like, I'm just spending the night in the cell tonight? Like,
no.
No.
No, I just thought, because I haven't caused any
'Cause you
harm.
haven't done anything.
Yeah. So I just thought they might have just moved me on.
Right.
So the police have come up, do you want to get in the car and that? And I'm like, yeah, and they're talking to me. They're not even, they're being sound and that. And then I think they've gone in and speak to the staff members. And then like, nah, he said he had a knife, been threatening behaviour and the rest of that. And that's a arrestable offence.
Yeah.
So they've come out and he says, no, you've been threatening behaviour, blah, blah, blah. Searched me, realised I had nothing on me. And I'm like, okay, they took me to the cells for the night. And then it wasn't till the next day in the interview room when they've turned around and said to me, and I'm fucking hanging, do you know what I mean? I'm fucking feeling like shit, feeling like death. And they've turned around and said to me, and there's another charge on the case of sexual assault. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they just said, one of the staff members says you've grabbed her boobs. And I'm like, that did not happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know for a fact, like I might have been intoxicated and drunk last night, but I know 100% fact that didn't happen because it was like a Sunday morning. It was all wearing off. Do you know what I mean? I'm ready to go home. I could walk to McDonald's. So it's not like I was that much out of it. Do you know what I mean? But I was that much out of it to be aggressive and, do you know what I mean, horrible. So obviously me punching her in the top of the boob, bottom of the shoulder, my left hand, I seen it on camera. Do you know what I mean? When I was in the court.
When that, obviously, when you had that charge thingy, was there anything in the back of your mind was just like, well, actually, maybe I didn't, until you saw that CCTV?
No, I was like, that didn't happen. So I pleaded not guilty. So I was pleading guilty all the way up to the court date. So I pleaded not guilty, and I actually went to court the first time, and they said, what'd you plead? I said, not guilty. And by this time, they're saying, how much money do you earn? I'm like, 800, 900 quid a week. And then they're like, oh, well, it's going to cost you 600 quid for the solicitor. So I'm like, okay, I can't afford a solicitor. It's not this big of a deal. It's like a drunken disorderly case. It's like, I'm just misunderstood. So they don't know exactly the ins and outs of what actually happened. So the best way I could describe it is to read it. So I'll read it now. This is my appeal letter, which I think I have ran past it because my sister was helping me when I was in the prison. So
well, just quickly, do you want to get to obviously what the verdict was and everything of that, and then we can do the appeal letter after?
Because I'd like to tell you about what happened in jail as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been a lot. So we're in the court. The judge is like, "If you got anything to say," and I ain't got a solicitor at this time. My ex is in another girl I was with now. I was with this girl about a year. So what happened was the incident at McDonald happened, and then a few weeks later, I've met a girl, fell in love, thought this girl was everything to me, moved in with her, started to build a life together, going away weekend trips with the kids. You know what I mean? It was everything. It was everything that I thought that I needed. Do you know what I mean? And a woman as well. And then she's driving me to court, helping me, do you know what I mean, my case and everything like that, supporting me, being there for me. So the first time we went to court together, I've turned around and said, not guilty, I didn't do nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then they've obviously had to adjourn it. Second time we've come to court, same thing again. I've said, I'm not guilty. And then but before I could make my plea, they were saying, I said, well, I can't remember, I haven't seen the CCTV. So I know I haven't done it, but I still haven't seen the CCTV. So can you show me the CCTV? So the prosecution, it took me out of the courtroom, took me to another room, showed me the CCTV. So it's me and the prosecution, the people who are trying to charge me, not a solicitor, trying to help me. It's the prosecution trying to jail me or trying to fucking, do you know what I mean, win their case. So as we're in the room next door to the courtroom, they've got to open the laptop. So they haven't opened it in the courtroom, do you know what I mean? They should have. They've opened the laptop, show me the CCTV, which you can clearly see that I only lifted one arm, left hand, top of the chest. Do you know what I mean? So you clearly see I punched her in the top of the fucking thing, the top in her boob, and I didn't grab her boobs, like she said, So I've like, all right, fair enough. I did make contact, And she says, because that's their case, you made contact, And I said, but I didn't do what she said on her victim statement that I grabbed the breasts. So. But then the prosecution said to me, well, you did make contact, so you need to plead guilty for making contact. And I says, yeah, but it's not sexual. It's not a sexual way. It's not nothing sexual about it. So the prosecution was like to me, well, if you go in there and plead guilty, it should get dropped to common assault because they can clearly see that it wasn't sexual. So then we've come back into the courtroom. The judge has said to me, have you got anything to say for yourself? And I've said, yeah, plead the CCTV. I said, you can clearly see that her victim statement and what actually happened did not happen. It does not coerce or whatever.
Coincide.
And I'm like, it didn't happen. And he just read her victim statement out, didn't play the CCTV, didn't play nothing, didn't show no evidence at all. Left the room, come back, and he says, "You're not sorry. You have got no remorse in your heart." This is him looking at and he jailed like 9 people that day. And he was like, "You're not sorry. You've got no remorse in your heart. You don't care about what the victim's feelings are." 26 days, 26 weeks in jail. So without showing any CCTV and just taking one look at me and reading her victim statement out, because on her victim statement it says, I'm scared to go to work, I don't like putting makeup on anymore, and I'm scared to go out to socialise with friends. So she's played it so she can get, and I think she got like 500 quid compensation and a week off work. And I'm like, was it worth ruining a man's life over that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, and I've tried to, when I was in court, when I was in the jail.
But also, just quick, like, and it's something to think about, and I've only just really thought about it now. Do you not think that, like, the life you've led up to that, like the robbing people and all the rest of it like that, and the stuff that you actually got away with, like we were talking about it, a thing like karma and stuff with them guys. Do you not think that is what that karma's just come round again?
Yeah, well, kind of, because a friend of mine, he also says, Tony, do you know all the bad shit you've done? And do you know what I mean? You've said you never went to jail, you never been in trouble.
Been done.
And he says, he's like, they've got you this way, and he's like, it's kind of a blessing though, because you, like, before that, I was like a fuckboy. I was like always like running on lust and like partying and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, and then when it comes to that DMT trip before, when it's saying stop chasing sex, drugs, and money, I think it's got to a big part to do with it. So I look at it as a blessing. To be fair, like I feel like it's divine intervention. They've like put me on a path that I need to be on again, because what I was doing when me and my baby mum split up, it was like constantly, and then the girl I was with, it was like we were out having sex everywhere. We'd be out in the pubs, shagging the toilets, sniffing coke together, do you know what I mean, all this kind of stuff when I didn't have my kids. And it was like, so It was very like a sex-driven relationship. Do you know what I mean? She had no kids, so it was just party, party, party. And then it was like, and I feel like I was going off course of who I was supposed to be. And I kept folding as well, because when I first got with her, I kept saying, this is not the life I want to live. I said, do you know what I mean, Kim? I don't want to be in drinking wine and sniffing coke. I said, I want a family. I want to be what I've always wanted to be. Like, I want, and I want her to have children with me, and like, I want to propose to her and get married, and I want her to see life the way I see it and the way I want it. But it was like, if you can't beat them, join them, because she's like, I'm going out anyway, so you can come if you want. So I'm like, all right, I'll just sacrifice my recovery or the desire I have in my heart to settle down and live a fucking fulfilled life. I kind of screwed it up and threw it away because I wanted to make her happy. And by this time, I didn't love myself anymore, because I was so fixated on the way she made me feel.
Yeah.
So I wasn't looking for like, I wasn't Tony. I wasn't like, you know who you are. Do you know what I mean? You love yourself. You're confident in who you are. It was like, nah, I need her validation. Do you know what I mean? She kind of put me on a pedestal. So I kind of lost my way a little bit. So it feels like it was always meant to be, in a sense, because when I went to jail, 2 weeks I was in jail, she's got my name tattooed on her wrist. She's put it all over Facebook. And then she's like, I'm always with you, T. Do you know what I mean? And then she's sent me photos of me, her, the kids, everything, the photo of the tattoo, and it on Facebook. She sent me all these photos in prison. 3 weeks later, she's on holiday with someone else. And I phoned her up, and she's on abroad, and I knew they were in the hotel room together. Do you know what I mean? And he was there. And I just said, you know what, I love you. I said, I'll always love you to the day I die. And I still do, like, in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I when I love someone, I care about them, I'll always will. Do you know what I mean? Because that relationship you do have with someone, it never dies. Yeah. Like the time you did spend in the way
what happened.
Yeah. So I just said to her, you know what, I love you and I always will. And I said, just go and do what makes you happy. And then I remember my baby mama phoned her, do you know what I mean, in the jail, and she's like, oh, I heard about what happened. And she said, you seem to be taking it very well. And I said, because it wasn't like when me and you broke up. Do you know what I mean? When me and you broke up, I lost everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So to me, it was just another notch. It was just another go. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't that same feeling, because once you go through something that ruins you internally and it happens again, it doesn't break your skin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even in being in the jail as well. So as I was in jail, I was in a pad with a pad mate, guy from, he was like East Midlands somewhere. Lovely lad, black lad, and then he was like, I told him everything, told him openly, because I didn't go on any dodgy wing or nothing, even though I was on a sexual assault charge. Yeah. So, but I knew who I am, and I'll stand up for myself no matter fucking what. Yeah. So I went on a normal wing, and then I've explained to him exactly what happened. He was like, "What the fuck, bro?" He said, and I think he was on a domestic charge as well with his ex or something. She's trying to get him done for stalking or something like that. And then a few weeks gone by, and then I'm like, just keep that to yourself though, do you know what I mean? And then I've come out on my cell, and I'm in my socks. I'm going to get my food, and I'm literally like from here to the wall away from the canteen. So I've come out, and then I've got a sixth sense around things. So I can sense when someone's talking about me, or I can sense when something's off and energies. So I can, I've looked over down the wing, and he's chatting to a few of them in a huddle sort of thing. And I thought, fucking, they found out, haven't they? So I've went back into myself, put my trainers on, I've got a pen in my pocket. I'm fucking standing there like at the back, do you know what I mean, the back of the cell, waiting for someone to come in. I'm going to fucking have it with them. And then these two lads are coming from Northampton. They say, what you in here for? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, fucking hear that you're on a sexual assault charge. I says, mate, you fucking, I've got my hand in my pocket with a pen, do you know what I mean? I'm ready to fucking stab someone with it. And then they're like, I says, mate, look at the photos on the wall and that. I says, my kids, my ex, or the girl I was with, and I like myself, do you know what I mean? I'm a working man and like blah, blah, blah. And I'm explained to them, and then I told them, and I said, and I will get the paper, because it was in the paper, Anthony Colgan's fucking Corby Town Centre, 8:30 in the morning, has touched a woman's breast. Do you know what I mean? That's what I went to jail for. And there's fucking people out there who've done wrong to people. Do you know what I mean? Like malicious to children, to women, to all sorts of kinds. Yeah? And it's like, and they've brushed me in that same category. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then so it's like, all right, then Colgan, Corby, all right, Corby, we'll go check it, yeah, because they have got burner phones and that in the jail, and they're all linked up in it.
Yeah.
So he's come back an hour later. You're
I
Corby.
say yeah, like I know, but yeah, I hear.
Yeah. When they're all connected, they've got fucking phones and iPhones and everything. They were trying. I mean, they fucking let me log into my Facebook and that after all this. They were sound with me. But he's like, Corby, come to the door, and I says, yo, and then they're like, fucking mate, you're blessed. He says, I read your fucking file. You're all right, bro. Like, fucking sorry. And even one of them said to me, mate, he says, I fucking feel for you, man. He says, like, you seem like a really genuine lad. Do you know what I mean? And then, and they're all like, you shouldn't be here. Everyone kept saying it to me. Like, I only done 13 weeks, but it fucking felt like forever. And my life got ripped apart, and she's left me. And then, so it was like, it was a lot. And then the gypsies, because they run the wing. Do you know what I mean? The travellers, they run the wing. And
where were you in?
Peterborough.
Okay.
Yeah, HMP Peterborough. And then one of the gypsy who pretty much run the wing, he's like said to me one time, oh, I heard about what happened. And I said, come here. And he's like, do you want a coffee? And I'm like, yeah, go on. And he's like, run up to my cell and get it then. And I was like, no. And he was like, I nearly got you. Because once you say yeah, they've got you. You'll end up cleaning the fucking landing and that for them.
Yeah.
But so I'm sitting chatting to him, and he's like, nah. He says, do you know what? They all call me Corby. And I had other friends on other wings. So like Alex Lundy and a few others. God bless Alex Lundy, he's dead now. But he checked on me every day, and he'd be like, Tony, and I'd go to the end of the wing, and he'd be like, how are you doing, kid? And that, like, you doing all right? He says, do you know what I mean? He says, I know you didn't do that. And then he's telling other people and that, and it's like, and I've already got the paper. Do you know what I mean? She sent me the clip off the paper and that, so I can defend myself. And then the gypsy said to me, I forgot his name, he was like, the same thing happened to his brother. His brother was working on a fair or something, slapped some bird's ass, he got jailed.
Yeah.
And he says, I've got your back, don't you worry about it. And then, but he says, but do you know if you actually did do anything? He says, I sent those two lads in your cell. He said they were going to run you, and then we were going to run you straight afterwards. So a lot could have happened to me. Do you know what I mean? I could have really got hurt. So luckily, I'm innocent. Luckily, do you know what I mean? It was only fucking contact, and like, but not even luckily. Like, I haven't got a bad bone in me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the good thing about Corby being a small town, the best thing about Corby being a small town, everybody knows you. So when I got out, I'm constantly getting fucking messages from ex-girls and fucking friends from school, and everyone like, Tony, don't worry about it. We know what happened. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's still, but it fucking really hit me with like PTSD. Do you know what I mean? I'd be going like to my son's football presentation or something like that, and I'm constantly thinking people are talking about me, and you know what I mean? But even though I turn up and then there's really well-known people there like hugging me, you're right, Tony, you're right, Tony. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm like, I could turn left, right constantly, and everyone's like, Tony, you're right, Tony. Do you know what I mean? I'm well-known for being a nice guy, so it's like I'm very proud of who I am.
Yep.
But at the same time, that fucking what happened to me, the PTSD in it all, post-traumatic stress disorder, is like constantly thinking I can't trust no one no more. And even if I do let someone into my life, they're gonna fuck me over. Or if, do you know what I mean? If I upset somebody, or a female, do you know what I mean? They could always turn around and thing me, and I'll be back in jail. Do you know what I mean? They could always just make up a lie and say, do you know what I mean? Because I'm on this fucking register now.
Yeah. Well, you've got my number, mate. You can call me whenever you want.
Oh yeah, no,
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I know, obviously, you've got up to different things in this flat before now.
Oh, yeah. So this is one of my ex-girls' flats. Yeah.
That's crazy. When we were on the way over here, he was just like, oh my God, you bottom floor, yeah, on the left. And I was like, so what? And he's like, oh yeah, this girl used to live here, so. He was here before me.
Yeah. I've spent many nights in this house. Yeah, loads of memories.
But yeah, like I say, yeah, this sofa's not just for podcasting, mate. You want to come chat and
I knew that when
some more green tea, whatever you like, man.
And I knew that when I first met you, and it was like, because you know souls, like you know a spirit when you see them, like a good person, and it was like, and I know Barbie only keeps good people around him as well, so it's fucking, and that's another friend. Do you know what I mean? He's always been there for me, he's always had my back, he's looked after me, and he's been there for me when I've needed a friend. And it's a beautiful thing to have people that actually do know you, and they can see past the bullshit and know that some people are just troubled. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that on Barb's. I'm sure he'll be loving getting a few mentions.
Oh yeah.
He's mentioned on Ash's podcast as well.
Is he?
Yeah. Obviously, because it's obviously how I met him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to Barb's.
Yeah,
hope you're watching.
King Lizard.
But yeah, so go on, carry on.
Yeah, so getting released from jail, fucking wow. A friend of mine.
So obviously being in jail, that was the first time that you'd had your like liberties taken away.
Yes.
Like how was that? Like from going, obviously Because I think that's the biggest thing, I suppose, for most people that have never served any time, is when you're this is not the same, and I'm not in any way thingy. I did 2 weeks in military prison. Just for going AWOL. Like, I went on holiday when I weren't allowed to. It's like I just fucked off. It's a longer story than that, and I still feel like I was in the right for doing what I did. And I had a lot of like senior people like writing letters on my behalf to say like what was done to him was wrong. But because of the actions that I took, I had to go to cold. Like, I had to be made an example of, basically.
The law's the law.
2 weeks in there, and it was like, and that was insane. Like, obviously, I was marched straight. Like, it's very different from like normal prison. Because you still do all the military shit. Like, you're marching everywhere, and like you stand on this, like these little footprints, and the people that escort you sit on stand on these footprints and stuff. And like, they can even get bollockings off the people that are taking you in if they're not dressed correctly, or they've got something like they'll get a fucking shooing. And then you go in, and I remember that, like, I was just like, once them gates closed behind me, and then I was just like, you know, getting my strip search and all the rest of it like that. I was like, this is it. Like, this is as far as I can travel for the next 2 weeks. Like, I'm within this like, I can't just go to the shops. I can't go to the park and, like, you know, and play and stuff. You know what I mean? Like with my daughter, obviously not just fucking go to the park and play at 20-odd-year-old. But do you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And it was like, it didn't really dawn on me until I was there, and I was just like, fuck, like, for 2 weeks. And yeah, like I say, it's 2 weeks.
Well, she had to tell my kids I was in Scotland working. So that was the first thing.
Yeah.
Lying to them. My son knows now. He doesn't know to the extent of what happened, but he knows that I was fighting at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I told him as he gets older and he understands life a little bit better, I'll tell him everything.
Yeah.
But
what was it like for you when you first went in?
It was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. It was the worst experience of my life. It was like, because I was there for someone I didn't do as well, and it was like, and I did not see my kids every day, and I've always been a part of their lives, and I've always worked. It was horrible. It was horrible. I was having nightmares that she was cheating on me, and then and even though this is after I found out she cheated on me, I was having nightmares every night that she was cheating on me. And within like 10 nights, 2 of them we ended up together happily. So like 8 out of 10, she was fucking with someone else, and it was like, so I was constantly waking up with panic attacks, freaking out, could never sleep. Because of my mental health in there, they give me a gym pass, so I was allowed to go to the gym 4 hours for 3 days a week.
Okay.
So that was a lot to help me with. But I'd just be on the row machine, fucking rowing, and then on the treadmill, rowing shit. And I do some weights as well, but just get my cardio up. And I was like, just constantly not trying to break down. But even when I was in there, and people would be like, they're going to serve years, and then like they're all lovely to me. Everyone was lovely, they're good as gold. And someone like, Tony, you're only doing a little stint, and that, like, fucking smile.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then there'd be a lad who punched another lad, and he died in his sleep after they had a fight. And they were the same age, they grew up together. He had a fight, he fucking knocked him out. He's fucking cracked his head, and he's died in his sleep. And I seen him get sentenced like 2 years after I got out on the paper. Because he was on remand for so long.
Yeah.
Back and forth to court, and then I'd speak to him, and he'd be like, he said, I get it, but smile, bro. I'm like, I can't. I got nothing to smile about. Everything's been taken away from me. And he's like, I just have to get on with it, mate. And I just couldn't smile. I didn't know who I was anymore. I felt lost. I felt empty. My skin got really, really bad. I suffered psoriasis a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's not bad. But when I was in there, it broke out bad. And I was having spots all over the back of my head from the dirty pillows and the water and stuff like that. And it was like, it was just excruciating. I fucking hated every second of it. It ruined me, and it fucking ruined me. But maybe it's something I had to go through, and it's something I don't want to experience again.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I'm going to make sure of that as well. But yeah, it was. It's not a nice place to be, especially when you're a normal person, in the sense of like, do you know what I mean? I've always tried to stay out of trouble. I've always tried to do the best with the bad situations I've had, and I've always thrived for a better life. Do you know what I mean? So, and then for all that, everything I've been through to end up there for that was the biggest shock of it all. Do you know what I mean? It was like, fucking, why? Like, to the universe, constantly, like, why?
So when you're, obviously you're in, so when you're at week 11, what did you do? 13 weeks. So when you're at week 12 then, you've done week 12. What's that last week like? Waiting, literally knowing that you've got, you know, this time next week I'm going to be out. This time next week I'm going to be doing this. This time next week I'm doing that.
Nerve-wracking. It was, I didn't know how to face the world anymore. So it was like, even though it was only a little bit, but I was like, I had all my family and that there. So it was like my brother had me a job in place. My friend was there to pick me up with a bag of shrooms. He had a little goodie bag for me, some acid, some shrooms, a bit of hash, and some money. And I'm like, oh, sound blessed. So, and I just tried to get back in the swing of things. I started drinking when I got out. I was drinking alcohol. And a few things happened. I got back into work, and I just thought, let's just get back into normality.
Yeah.
Just face it for what it is, and just fucking put it all behind you, Tony. It's done now. She's left you. Fucking, you're falsely accused. You're not allowed at McDonald's anymore. Do you know what I mean? Just let's get on with it. And a couple of friends of mine have made jokes about it all as well. Like my mate Clark's be like, "Who goes to McDonald's for breakfast and comes out of a sexual assault charge?"
Yeah.
And then my boss, my employer, he's like said to me, why can't you take Tony swimming? Because last time he done the breaststroke, he got 6 months." And I'm like, so it's like everyone around me is like fucking chipping in,
nailing you about it.
Yeah, trying to brighten me up.
Yeah.
So, but then I'm like, I've kind of went off course a little bit. I fucking started drinking again, and then I've like started sleeping with a girl that I used to sleep with fucking 10 years prior to that, before that, Emma, but she's married. And then her husband's getting involved, even though they're separated. He's turning up to pubs and that. I'm in with some other girl. Do you know what I mean? Because I've just got back into that, fucking drinking out with girls all the time. Fuck boy.
Yeah.
Fucking, I've been in jail. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're doing. You come out and you need your hole in it. Do you know what I mean? I've got blue balls. I've been locked away for 30 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't be wanking in that in there. Or now and then, if you get away with it, and my cell's empty. But yeah, all kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to get back into like enjoying myself, letting my hair down. I'm at work. I'm fucking out seeing different girls every other week. Yeah. I'm dating. But then obviously messing about with this girl. She's married. Her husband's fucking turning up at pubs and that, and I'm fucking threatening him. He drove off. I told him I fucking had a knife on me. I didn't. So it's a good thing, do you know? Because like I'm soft as shit. I'm soft as shit. And I only fight if I need to. If I get backed into a corner. Yeah. But then it's like. But I look the part. Do you know what I mean? Like my boss is it as well. He's like, fucking, you look. If you didn't know you, Tony, you'd think you were fucking hard as fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he says, you just got that persona about you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
You're a big lad, man. But you know. But then he's like, so I'm like, fucking come near me.
I think the nose ring shows your softer side.
Yeah. My spiritual side.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I fucking. I'm dead aggressive and that towards him. Fucking, I'm gonna do you come near me, blah blah blah. He turned up with his mate as well. He drove off, and then. But then I'm like, I shouldn't really be fucking doing this. It's his wife at the end of the day. And then another incident happened. We're out a group of us, and I ended up sleeping with one of my friend's girlfriends.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's such a lovely lad as well. Such a nice guy. We're drinking tequila. We've all got separated. She's drove me back to mine. I'm like, I've got a bottle in mine to come for a drink. And I was having sex with her. Went round to another girl I was with the day after, and I've told her about the whole situation. I was like, do you think I should tell him? She's like, yeah, Tony, I think you should tell him. You've grown up now. You do you know what I mean? Just be honest and say you fucked up. So rang him up, told him. He's like, come and see me. He's a big lad as well. And I'm like, no, I can't face him. But I've told you. I think he still wants to kill me. He probably still does. And then it was like, kind of like, what are you doing, Tony? Do you know what I mean? This kind of direction you're going in again is what led you to fucking prison in the first place.
Yeah.
Being a fuckboy, drink, drugs, partying, fucking about with other people's girls. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's only going to lead to trouble, which could cause fighting, which could cause back to jail, all the rest of it. So at this point, the person I work for now, Leighton, he's contacted me. Tony, I've got my own firm. He was in jail at the same time as I was, and he's like fucking. He's like a fucking. I've known him like 10 years before this, since he was about 16. He's like 27 now, and he's like, I want you on my squad. He says, I fucking know you through thick and thin. Do you know what I mean? He knows me that well, and he's like, I want you with me. Trust me. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of felt maybe like he could help me as well. So I took a pay cut. I was on good money. Me and my brother were working on the new Manchester City ground. We're up there. I was only like $250 a day, and like they paid for hotels and stuff like that. But then my brother's like, he's in active addiction. He likes to party and stuff like that, and then gamble. And it was like the energies was feeding, like his energy was like smothering me. And I just felt overwhelmed being around him all the time. So, and it was like a divine intervention again. It was like I've had to turn around and say, I can't be around you anymore, bro. Do you know what I mean? I need to go my own path now. Rang up the person I work for now, and he's took me on. 2 years I've been with him, but I've been isolated. So for the past 2 years, I've been in Nottingham Monday to Friday every week, working my arse off, but I went through a massive like mushroom healing I healed myself through mushrooms over the past 2 years. Well, last year. So I've done a year doing them all the time, meditating. I was even meditating them on one time, and I was in like the fourth dimension, and I was like closing my eyes, and then my higher self was there, and it was like a black man, tall as fuck, dreadlocks, and then he had a dog with him, and he kept saying, Tony, we're up here waiting for you. And I think he's trying to get me to learn how to astral project, so you can like meditate and you can leave your body and you can travel the fourth dimension. And then like, so I'm practicing that now, like trying to. I think I'm still struggling with my meditation a little bit. I haven't got it down to the T how I used to. Do you know what I mean, when I was good at it. But I'm learning to get rid of that PTSD, and I'm overcoming it. That's what's helped me, the mushrooms. And then they kind of give me a sense of like self-love back, and like all that stuff, like my ex and stuff like that, the way she put me on the pedestal, now I put myself on that pedestal. Do you know what I mean? Like I said before, I'll fucking give myself hugs, tell myself I love myself, but I've only done that since getting out of jail and fucking around and trying to find out again. Do you know what I mean? And then going, nah, I'm falling again, I'm going off course. And then obviously healing myself. So this year, all I've done is smoke weed. I've had one trip this year with my friends, and I didn't really enjoy it. It was alright for about an hour, and I was like, I want to go home. So it's like I feel like all that kind of stuff's just left me, and it's like I'm not searching anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not looking for an outside source, or do you know what I mean, to
make you whole.
Yeah, it gave me gratification.
Complete the puzzle.
Yeah. I feel like I've arrived.
Yeah,
I've arrived of who I need to be, and it was like, and it seems easier now to navigate life. And so this whole year, I've just work all Monday to Friday, working to get my license back. I've got my DVLA medical in a couple of weeks, and we'll pass, and I'll get a work van, and then that'll free me up to start taking my son to boxing classes and stuff that he wants to do. Because at the minute, it's like I work away Monday to Friday, but Friday to Sunday I have my kids every week without fail. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't go out, I don't have a social life. I speak to my friends on the phone, which, do you know what I mean? That's enough. So my life is literally doing the things I love, and I love being at work because I'm good at my job, and I'm around people who treat me like family.
Yeah.
And then I come home on the weekend, live with my mum. My mum does everything for me. She does my washing and all that. She fucking feeds me, clothes me, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, what does my washing and that. She makes sure everything's all right.
When you say on when you've got your kids and that you don't have a social life, have you got sort of like friends that have got kids around your age or anything like that?
So say for instance, like we went swimming this weekend with fucking a good friend of mine, his daughter, and my kids. But I wouldn't say that's not a social life for me though. Do you know what I mean? That's me letting the kids have a social life in a sense. And obviously I'll meet up with friends that do have kids, but if we do, it's roughly like a couple of hours on a weekend, and it's like, but it's not. I don't feel like it's for me though, because I'm doing it for them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's, it's because they're friends with their kids, and so, which I'm happy about. This sort of like I've kind of come to the conclusion. What makes me happy, that self-love, that self-gratification, and that because most people in life, they're always living off those like lower vibrations, like the lower chakras, like the lust and greed or envy, and everybody wants like instant gratification, or I want long-lasting gratification. I want to build something for me and my kids that is going to last till the day I die. And I know the only reason to do that is to do what makes me feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I love providing for them. I love not saying no to them. And I can say, do you know what I mean? When they get home on a weekend, they're like, takeaways, fucking Roblox, FIFA points, whatever they fucking want. They only have to ask Dad, and I'll say yeah. And I'm like, I am a soft touch. We spoke about this earlier.
I was going to say, we had a little chat about this earlier, and I've said that he needs to be more of a disciplinarian with him.
Yeah, 100%.
And be that right. And I do think that is sort of the father's. You're going to get feminists all over me on this, but there is pink and blue jobs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think the disciplinarian side should come from the father, especially if you've got a son.
Yeah.
Because that is like for a woman doesn't. A woman knows how a woman grows up.
Yeah.
A woman doesn't know how a man grows up. And there's no way you can substitute that. It's just like, for me, same. It's like when my eldest I've got a daughter. She's 15. Well, I don't know what it's like to be a 15-year-old girl, because I was never a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So, like, and some people say, like, oh, you are hard on her. And I do see it sometimes. That I'm hard on her like I am with my lad. And I'm I need to, like, rein that in a little bit with her, because, like, she is more sensitive to, you know, like, with that. Or
I think I'm more harder on her than I am him.
Yeah.
Because he's very much a bit like me in the sense of like he doesn't like authority figures, school, and that, and I believe that's how.
But that's what you need to knock out of him.
Yeah. But you can't be a yes man at the same time.
No, but you need not at all. And I wouldn't expect I wouldn't say I am. I'm very I have my own opinion. And
but I'm like anti-government. Anti-fucking schooling, like I know he needs it, and I tell him he needs it. But
I mean, I'm not too far off that either, to be honest. I mean, the whole COVID thing, and again, me and Ash spoke about this. Like the whole COVID thing and stuff really opened my eyes. Like how much the government lied and stuff like that, and like botched the figures. And then apparently during COVID, like there was no flu deaths.
No.
It's like
only COVID, only vaccine deaths.
Yeah, and it's like,
and then people getting hit by a bus or something, they put it down as a COVID.
And so like I'm with you with that, and the schooling system obviously is not ideal.
No, because this is another thing. Yeah, so say for instance, when our granddads were at school, compared to when our sons are at school now, they're teaching the same curriculum. It's exactly the same. It's the same setup. It's the same history, same math, same English, same everything. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing new. They might have computers now, but the system is built to be like that. So it's not built to, like, for kids like me growing up, when I needed extra attention because I had ADHD or I was troubled.
Yeah.
They just put you.
You're just a child that is not suited to a classroom environment. That's all it is.
And neither is he.
It's like, but that's the same with my two. Like my daughter, academic, her brain just works different. Like she plays a game on Roblox. I can't remember what it's called. It might not even be on Roblox. Actually, it might just be its own game, and it's almost like a Tetris thing. It's called like Block Smash or something. Someone on there will know. And she's like putting stuff in. And I'm like, why have you left that big gap there? And she's like, because I'll be getting a 9 block next.
Oh, right.
And it'll be a 9 block. And I'm like, how do you know that? And she's like, oh, because it's in sequences. Like, and she's figured it out. Like, it's like there's a multitude of blocks you can get.
She get on blackjack.
She's figured out the algorithm, so she knows what's coming and that. Yeah. And that's what I say to my lad, like everyone. Like, I can't compare my two because my lad isn't an academic lad. Like he wants to be out playing football, running, jumping around in mud. Like, and he is the kindest kid you will ever meet. Like, he will help any kid, older, younger. Like, he'll help him up steps, everything. He's super polite. He's the
my
nicest
Charlie's
kid.
like that as well. Like, I can have him around, like, my mate's son who's autistic, and he's literally pushing him on the swing, and he's dead soft with him and the rest of it. But when he gets to school, he's like, I don't want to listen to your shit. Yeah. And there's something in him that he's like...
It's just being boxed in for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right for all kids. Well, I don't think it's right for most kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. This has been absolutely brilliant. I want one last thing from you. I ask everyone this last question of the podcast. What advice would you give to someone that may listen to this that is, you know, currently in your situation as a teenager, or, you know, looking around and looking as if there's no way out for them? What advice would you give to someone, or just general advice?
I made up a motto. A friend of mine years ago, he was like, "Tony, you should have your own motto." So I made up my own motto, and it's live to inspire, or inspire yourself to live. So it's in the sense of, if you can live to inspire somebody else, and if your story or the person you've become or the knowledge that you know, share it. If you can inspire somebody to be better, share that knowledge. Do you know what I mean? Help other people, inspire someone else, and then, or inspire yourself to live. If you've got nobody, like I didn't, if you're struggling with addictions, if you're on your own, you feel like you're on your own, even though you have got family and friends behind you, but you feel on your own in your own head, inspire yourself. Find something, just anything that's going to get you out of yourself. And I think the best thing that done it for me was maybe like community work. Do you know, like giving something back? Someone like, if I can go and, when I was in recovery, we'd go and cut old people's hedges and their back gardens for free, obviously. But the joy on their faces to be able to, I mean, you're coming out of yourself and you're giving. So you're not living on a place of me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you've got nothing, go and give. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Inspire yourself to live, because a lot of people out there, they don't know a way out, but there is a way, and there are always a way, and that goes for all ages as well. There's people like all around the world, who think it's too late to change. It's never too late to change. I've met people in their 50s that have fucking completely changed their whole life around, and it's inspiring. So find some inspiration. Do you know what I mean? And if you can't inspire someone, do you know what I mean? Like, find something. Or like my sister, she got me a plaque years ago, and it says, and she's like, I don't know what it means, but I know you'll get something from it, and I have it still now, and it says, find something to die for and live for it.
Yep.
Thank you. You're a fucking legend, mate.
It's been a beast. And thank you for watching and listening, everybody.
Thank you.